Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. It's Matchday Live, Arsenal versus Sevilla in the Champions League. This should be a good game. Of course, Arsenal did win away in Sevilla a couple of weeks ago by 2-1, but of course, since then we've suffered 2 consecutive defeats away from home. So it's important to bounce back. It's all coming up the other side of this. So it is Arsenal versus Sevilla, as we say, from the Emirates Stadium tonight in the Champions League. Is it right that a win puts us through, already qualifies us with 2 games to go? I'm sure that can't be right. But anyway, a win will put us on the brink of qualification. So shall we have a look at the team news then? Because I think it's quite interesting. So this is our Arsenal lineup then tonight. It is David Raya in goal, the back 4, Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, Takahiro, Tomiyasu. In midfield, Declan Rice, Jorginho and Kai Havertz. And the front 3, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and Leandro Trossard. Now, what's interesting about that for me is there's only one change from Saturday. And that is, of course, Eddie Nketiah is injured and Leandro Trossard comes in for him. No doubt, if Eddie hadn't been injured, he would probably have started this game. So it would have been exactly the same team that played so poorly against Newcastle at the weekend. It's clear this manager doesn't trust the squad players, quite honestly. For a game like this, these are the times that you would use your squad, surely. Anyway, the players on the bench are goalkeepers Aaron Ramsdale and Carl Hein. We've got Cedric Suarez, Jacob Kiwior, Alexander Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, Mohamed El Neni, and 2 young lads from the academy, Mario Cobri Duzia and Charles Sago Jr. Of course, both of those 2 have featured in the first team squad previously, haven't they? So for Sevilla, then, they've made a few changes to the previous game we played against them. In goal is a change. It's Marko Dimitrovic, the Serbian. Their back 4 is Sanchez, Barde, Goodell, who scored the goal, of course, and Kike. In midfield, Fernando, Eric Lamela and Gibril So. And then up front, it's Juan Jordan, Josef and Nezeri and Pedroso. So that is, as I say, there's no Jesus Navas tonight. There's no Sergio either. So interesting team lineups there, I think, especially for Arsenal. What we're making of that Arsenal team, by the way, just that one enforced change. No, he hasn't rotated the squad at all. I mean, incredible. Anyway, Mark's in the chat. Hey, my friend, good to see you. Hope you are well. Nathan as well. He says, "Hi, Rich. Hope you're well." Yeah, I'm doing fine. I hope you are as well. Actually, what I'm doing, I haven't took the thing off the screen. But that's better, isn't it? Sorry, I know you don't really need to look at me, but anyway, it's part of the show. Mark says, "Hi, Rich. How you doing, my friend?" He says, "Keep it simple, stupid." That's fair enough. And Nathan says, "Rich, don't like dragging it back up. What did you make of the club backing Arteta after he spat his dummy out?" I mean, to be honest with you, mate, I found the whole thing ridiculous. You know, yes, the goal was a little bit suspect, shall we say, on Saturday. But come on, I mean, we could have defended that situation better. Terrible goalkeeping, terrible defending that led to the goal. So we could have prevented it anyway. But that's not really the point, is it? You know, had VAR not been there, the goal would have been disallowed because the referee didn't give it. Oh, sorry, the goal would have stood rather because the referee gave it on the pitch, didn't he? So VAR is not the reason for it. Yes, could VAR overturn the goal? Yeah, they probably could have. Arsenal didn't do enough to win that game. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Arteta's reaction is embarrassing to a club like Arsenal. I'm sorry. You know, he can't be doing that. And the club are just backing him. They'll back whatever he does, quite honestly. You know, he could have a shit in the middle of the pitch and the club would bring a statement out saying, "No, we fully back Mikel Arteta for shitting in the middle of the pitch." You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I don't understand what's going on at this club. Honestly, I don't. It's just mad. It's almost as though the history and tradition of this great club seems to have just been put in the bin. And they're trying to make the club all modern and all hip and all this kind of stuff. I'm sorry, no, that's not what Arsenal's about, mate. Ridiculous. I don't support Mikel Arteta spitting his dummy out. I don't support what he said after the game because it's just pointless. You know, the goal stood and we had 25 minutes to get one back. We didn't. That's not VAR's fault. That's not the referee's fault. That's your fault, Mikel, and that is your players' fault for not creating any chances after we went 1-0 down. Newcastle are a decent team, but as we've seen that this season, they've lost games. They've conceded goals, and we weren't clever enough to be able to do that. And that isn't anybody's fault except for our own. So yeah, it is ridiculous. And I don't know. I don't. That for me this isn't Arsenal. This isn't the Arsenal that I grew up supporting. It's a different club now. All that tradition's gone out the window. I've had people on social media saying, football's not about winning. It's not about winning trophies. I'm sorry. It's exactly what it's about. Yes, it's a business now, but the business side of it isn't Mikel Arteta's job. His job is to win games on the pitch. And if he doesn't, he can bugger off, as far as I'm concerned. The same with the players. That's their job, is to win football matches. That's what they're here for. That's what as fans, that's what we want to see. We don't care about the balance sheet necessarily. Yes, we want the players to be able to, we want the club, to be able to buy the best players possible. But we're not interested in the balance sheet. We don't care about the business side of it. We just want to see the team win football matches on the pitch, and that comes down to the players that are performing and to the manager. And if they're not performing, they can go. No one person is bigger than the club, but it seems at the minute as though Arteta can do whatever he likes and the club's going to back him. It's ridiculous. Maybe it's because they don't want to actually invest in a proper manager, which is mad because we've already invested 600 million in this failure. So I don't understand it. Anyway, Terry says, evening Richard, let's hope we don't produce the same crap we did on Saturday with this weak midfield again. Only saving grace, Sevilla have left out most of their players. Yeah, they've made a lot of changes, haven't they? I think 4, 5, 6 changes, is it, from when we played them last time? So yeah, Terry agrees with me, and that's fair enough. I'm just sick of it all now. I'm sick of this excuses. I'm sick of the excuses, and Arsenal and Mikel Arteta need to take responsibility for our bad performance on Saturday. It was a bad performance. I was there at the stadium. It was terrible. Second half in particular, we created nothing. We didn't have one shot on target. And that's not acceptable, is it? Mikel Arteta can moan what he likes about the goal. The only difference that goal made ultimately was it would have been a 0-0 draw. So we'd have got one point instead of 0. That's it. We wouldn't have won that game, because to win a game, you have to have a shot on target, and we didn't. So, and that's down to him. Let's see what the reaction is tonight. We're at home. As Terry said, Sevilla have changed most of their team that played last time. So I'd be surprised if we don't win, but it's not going to make any difference to the long-term picture, is it? We're a centre forward short. We've been a centre forward short since the start of the season. That problem hasn't been resolved, and Mikel Arteta clearly doesn't trust the players in the squad, because he's picked the same team that underperformed on Saturday. Yeah, you could say, well, he's given them another chance. Well, they've had plenty of chances, because it's a team that pretty much plays every week. So anyway, let's see that this game's a slight distraction away from the Premier League. And the last 2 games, obviously one was in the Carabao Cup, one was in the Premier League, and now we've got the Champions League. So we've got 3 different competitions in 3 consecutive games. So let's see if we can get a better result than the previous 2. We should win this game, let's be honest. There's no excuse for us not to. At home against a team that we beat away from home, we played pretty well, actually, in Sevilla. And we need to we'll need to play as well again tonight to get the victory, and I'm sure we will. I think Sevilla are going to sit a lot of players behind the ball. Anybody that watches Arsenal knows how we play, and knows what the best options are to nullify our threats. And I'm sure the Sevilla coach would have done his homework on that. And let's bear in mind, of course, Sevilla have got a good record in Europe, haven't they? They've won the Europa League the most times. They are the current holders of the Europa League as well. That's how they qualified for the Champions League in the first place, because they only finished, I think it was 12th or something in the league last year. But they did win the Europa League. So obviously that's how they qualify for this. So what that means is that they're very good in Europe, aren't they? They know how to win European competitions. They've got players that have got experience of that European that European kind of winning mentality in Europe. So, we saw it in their home game. They had a good spell after they pulled it back to 2-1, didn't they? They had a few chances. We were slightly hanging on a little bit. Of course, the Jesus injury didn't help in that game, did it? But yeah, let's just put in a good performance tonight. Let's put the weekend behind us. Let's stop making excuses, and let's focus on, as who was it said that? Was it Ange Postecoglou who said, didn't he, that that the managers should concentrate on managing their team. And that's exactly what Arteta should be doing. Hopefully tonight he's fully concentrated on doing his job. And his job is to manage this team and to get results on the pitch. That's his job. And that's these players' jobs tonight, is to do that. And let's hope that they do, because that's all that we want. As fans, that's all we want to see, don't we? We want to see, we don't want excuses. We just want to see the team performing. And if we play if we'd played really well on Saturday against Newcastle, right, and we dominated the game, we'd hit the bar, we'd hit the post, we'd had numerous chances, and then we concede a goal like that, I would maybe understand Mikel Arteta's frustration. I would maybe understand him feeling like that. And I'd have probably felt the same. But because we didn't play very well, we didn't deserve to win the game. It's like, well, we should have played better. That's the only reason we lost that game. As simple as that. So let's hope tonight we're talking about the Arsenal performance being much better, and we're not talking about anything else. The Champions League, you don't tend to get the nonsense, do you, that you get in the Premier League when it comes to VAR anyway. Terry says, to be really honest, I'm not really expecting this team to set the world on fire tonight. Well, no, because they haven't set the world on fire in this season anyway, really, have we? The performances haven't been great. And we've got Cornish Gunner with us here, my friend. He says, do you think Arteta is refusing to see that we lack a decent striker because he can't handle the big personalities? Well, that is a very, very strong possibility. I mean, strikers, he's bought one striker in 4 years he's been at the club, and that's Gabriel Jesus, who he worked with at Manchester City. And strikers do tend to have the egos, don't they? They tend to have the personalities, as you mentioned, and he struggled with that before. We had, when he arrived at the club, Mikel Arteta, we had a 30-goal striker at the club in the team. And what's happened since then, we know. So, and he hasn't been replaced, and those goals haven't been replaced. So yeah. I think you're right. I do think that could be a reason, but we'll see what happens in January. If he doesn't buy a striker in January, or if he doesn't at least attempt to buy a striker in January, it's not that easy just to go out and buy somebody. They have to want to come. The deal has to be done between the player and the manager and the agent, all that kind of stuff. But if we don't even try to sign a striker in January, then that tells you what you need to know about this manager, as far as I'm concerned. Nathan says, last word from me on it. Willock was racially abused, but the club decided to double down on his rant and back him. Maybe condemning the racist abuse might have been the right thing to do. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I haven't really seen. I've seen people mentioning this racism to Joe Willock, and if that's happened, and I'm not doubting that it didn't, then that is just ridiculous. You know, our Arsenal fans, especially Joe Willock, who's one of our academy players. He's come through our system. He's an Arsenal boy, and racism's wrong, whoever you direct it at. But for Arsenal fans to do it to one of our own youth players or players that came through our system is just crazy. And yes, the club should have come out and said something about that. Absolutely, they should have. You know, as they have done in the past, as other clubs do as well. So yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening at the minute at Arsenal. I'm very, very disappointed in a lot of aspects of the way Arsenal are handling things at the moment. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Nathan. I totally agree with you. And they should have condemned that. Absolutely. That's what they should have done. And they didn't. They've not even mentioned it, have they? Obviously, I don't know how it happened. If it was on social media and stuff like that, I'm not really sure the whole story behind it. I've not really seen it. I've just obviously seen the stories that it's happened. And yes, Arsenal should be doing better when it comes to that kind of thing. Of course they should, 100%. I 100% agree with it. But yeah, let's instead focus on let's detract ourselves away from Mikel Arteta's failings by focusing on something that we can't control, which is the referees and VAR. We can control how we play on the pitch, and that's what Mikel Arteta needs to do. And obviously the club needs to look at the situation with fans, and anyone who's caught doing racist abuse to anybody needs to be banned from getting tickets to the games, quite honestly, banned from stadiums for life. That's what we want to do, don't we? Terry says, well, we've lost our last two. Will Arteta make it a hat-trick tonight? I don't think so, no. I think we should be far too strong to beat this, not to beat this Sevilla side. Not that they're a bad team. I say they won the Europa League last season, but we should be far too strong for them to this evening, I would say. We've got offloading chat here. It says, evening, you missed my comment. Oh, did you put a comment earlier? Sorry, did I miss it? Sorry, I was going off on a bit of a rant myself. Where is your comment from earlier? I can't see it. Anyway, well, I'm sure it'll disappeared. I don't know. Nathan says, Tony for 70 million would be the player I would go for, to be honest. He's not an Arteta player, though, is he? I agree with you. I would play 100 million for Ivan Toney. I think he's brilliant, but he's not an Arteta player. Anyway, we are just about kicking off now at the Emirates. Arsenal in red and white, Sevilla in some sort of funky blue kit, and Arsenal attacking the goal to our right in his first half, which is the clock end at the Emirates Stadium. and Arsenal straight away on the attack. Nathan says they're absolutely bang on. Dice diversion tactics. Exactly, that's what it is. For me, that's what it is. Let's deflect away from how crap our manager is and our team have been by focusing on things that aren't important. Like, I'll say things that we can't control. I can't find your comment on here, actually. I can't see it. Maybe just put it back on again, because it's not on the screen. I don't know if it's got deleted, or I don't know, maybe YouTube have got involved. Connie Schooner says Osherman is the one we need. Potentially, I think Ivan Toney would be my choice, because he's got experience of playing in the Premier League and he understands what's needed, and he scored goals in the Premier League. Anyway, a corner comes in, Havertz, a free header at the far post, and he puts it wide. And if one incident summed up Kai Havertz's Arsenal career, it's that right there, isn't it? It's a corner comes into the far post, he's got a free header, nobody near him, and he's put it wide, and that is terrible. That is terrible. Mikel Arteta's got his head in his hands, and you can see what he's thinking there. He's thinking, how many more chances do I have to give this guy? He's played enough games now. I said at the start of the season I wanted to give him a chance to settle in, whatever, and he's had enough games now. We've played, 18, 19 games this season. He's played in pretty much all of them. And he's clearly not good enough to play in this team. And it's 65 million, as the song goes, 65 million down the drain, and that's exactly what it is. And I don't know what the answer is. We're not going to get rid of him now. He's on a long contract. Anyway, Phil says there Havertz is shy. Well, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say he's shy. He's just not good enough for what we need, is he? And he's not worth 65 million. Terry says, sorry, got to say it after that header. He's absolutely crap. Well, that was a header of a player who is completely lost all confidence in themselves. And if that's the case, I'm not being funny, but you shouldn't be playing. You know, football is a sport that is watched by millions and millions of people. If your confidence is low, then get out of the team and work on the aspects of your game you need to improve, and try to get your confidence back, or whatever it is. You can't. I've said this before. I kind of feel a bit sorry for him, but it has to be said. He isn't good enough. He's not nowhere near the level of player that we need. And the player over on that far side there, Declan Rice, who's just battling for the ball, clearly is. And you know, there's a massive difference there, isn't it? Yes, we paid more money for Declan Rice, but he is an elite player, isn't he? And that, you know, if you're paying 65 million, you'd expect to get a player that's, you know, up there to as good as you can get. Nathan says, I just don't think he's a Premier League player. I think it is that simple. Yeah, maybe you're right, because he didn't exactly shine at Chelsea, did he? Overall, he had some moments. Maybe the Premier League, he's not suited to it. And he wouldn't be the first player, would he? Let's be honest. There's been plenty of players that are good players that haven't managed to cut it in the Premier League for one reason or another. It doesn't make them bad players. It just means that they're not maybe suitable for the league. It doesn't suit their style, and maybe that's the case with Kai Havertz. And I just think he needs to be taken out of the limelight. I've been saying this for 2 or 3 weeks. He has to be taken out of the limelight and left out of the team. And also coming forward over on that far side, Gabriel Martinelli can't keep that ball in. It's run behind for a goal kick to Sevilla. It's been a decent enough start from Arsenal, I suppose. We've had all the possession, really, all the pressure, but in typical Mikel Arteta style, we're not creating too much at the minute, although that was a good chance for Kai Havertz to head that ball into the net instead of tamely putting it wide. It's a goal kick, though, which Dimitrov's going to take it all in yellow. The Sevilla goalkeeper goes along with that kick, and Sevilla looking to come forward. In fact, there's an offside, so it's a free kick to Arsenal, which William Saliba takes quickly. In fact, too quickly for the referee, and he's going to call it back. And it is going to be a free kick retaken for Arsenal, just about 15, 20 yards inside Arsenal's half of that offside. Phil says, I think Arteta is too stubborn to drop him. Potentially, or my kind of worry is it's not his decision. I don't think it was his decision to buy Kai Havertz in the first place, if I'm honest. And I don't think it's his decision. And you can't undermine your manager like that by picking the team for him. But it does seem strange, because he's just everything that Mikel Arteta doesn't like in a player. Everything, you know, he's got rid of players that have been similar to what Kai Havertz is producing. He's got rid of them quite quickly. And yet, why is he persisting with Kai Havertz? And why did he pay 65 million for it? It doesn't make sense with what's gone on previously under this manager. It makes no sense. Something's not right about this. It doesn't sit right with me. And I'm not sure that everything is as it appears with the Kai Havertz situation. I really don't. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward now. It's a throw. Sorry, over that far side. The Sevilla fans are making a lot of noise, as you would expect. The Spanish fans tend to do that, don't they? Getting behind their team, a much changed team for them, of course, tonight, isn't it, for Sevilla? The Europa League holders, of course, as we know. Terry says, at least Havertz can't be hitting his targets to earn a bonus. That's about the best thing I can say about it. Well, I mean, he'll be getting win bonuses when the team wins, won't he? Like all the others do. He won't be getting many goal bonuses. Anyway, it's a throw to Sevilla because Jorginho is captain again tonight. I don't know why they don't give it to Declan Rice. Personally, again, another baffling situation for me. There's too many things going on at the minute at the club that I can't get my head around. I just cannot get my head around it. It makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, Man United have gone 1-0 up in their game in Copenhagen. It is Højlund who has scored after just 3 minutes there for Manchester United. Desperate for a win, aren't they? Anyway, Sevilla coming forward now. They're desperate for a win as well if they're going to get themselves back in. I mean, to be honest, Sevilla probably quite happy to finish third and drop into the Europa League again because that's their competition, isn't it? They've won it 7 times. But anyway, they're coming forward now, looking to get a goal, but that's a poor ball. Kai Havertz can cut that out, and Trossard lays it off to Saka on this near side. This is good football from Arsenal. Saka now having a run at that Sevilla defence. He's just on the edge of the penalty area now. Skips around the outside. He's done well, Saka. Good tackle on him now, actually, but he still kept possession. Just gone a little bit wider now. Plays it back to Ben White. And then surely Saka's fouled. He is fouled by Gudjeld, who scored the goal for Sevilla last week. It's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Phil says, hopefully Jorginho won't get battered tonight. Well, he took a bit of a battering the other day, didn't he, against Newcastle? Which at the time in the ground, I didn't see that, actually. I didn't see that contact. It wasn't until obviously see the replays later. But I did see Kai Havertz tackle, and that was a nasty one, wasn't it? I mean, I thought that could have easily been a red card when you see the replays. At the time, you're so far away where we were in the ground, it was probably difficult to know. It did look bad from up there. But obviously, you see a replay, you're thinking, yeah, that potentially could have been, couldn't it, a red? Anyway, it's a free kick to Arsenal. So we've got an opportunity to get the ball in the box. Saka is going to take this over on this near side. He's going to whip it in with that left foot of his. He's not scored for a while, Bukayo Saka, has he? So it'd be nice to see him to get a goal. Obviously, he can't score from this free kick, you wouldn't imagine, out on this tight angle here. But anyway, he's going to put this ball into the box and see if somebody can get on the end of it. It is Saka's cross towards the penalty spot. He goes, a header comes in. It was Gabriel got there first. But again, it's a header that's gone wide. That's 2 headed opportunities for Arsenal in these opening 10 minutes. That's a decent free kick, actually, from Saka, curling in. And Gabriel got there first, but he's put it, 5 yards wide. And that was another good headed opportunity for Arsenal to take the lead. And another missed opportunity that we've got there. Kai Havertz seems to be almost playing in a number 9 position at the moment. Trossard's gone across to the left-hand side. Dropping a little bit deeper, Trossard. And Havertz looks like he's almost playing as a centre forward. I suppose a false 9, really, isn't it? Although he's dropped a little bit deeper now and Trossard's gone ahead of him. It's a big opportunity for Trossard, isn't it? Because for some reason, he's not getting picked regular to start the games, is he? Eddie Nketiah has been the favoured choice, which I'm sure we all find baffling, don't we? But it's good to see Trossard in the team. I hope he gets a goal. I think he needs a goal, doesn't he? Just to give him a little bit more confidence, and also for him to put a statement out to the manager and say, I should be playing in this team. I should be picked a lot more regularly than you're picking me. And that's what he's got. He's got a great opportunity tonight to do that, hasn't he? Against a team that I'm sure there's goals in this for Arsenal. We've already had a couple of chances in this game. We're coming forward again. Bukayo Saka on this near side. Again, he's fouled by the same defender. Goodell, who's probably not far away from getting a yellow card. You'd imagine the next one he's not going to get away with, is he? He's just got away with those 2 fouls without getting a booking. He did dive in a bit there, didn't he? Clearly was a foul. He's another Serbian in this Sevilla side, along with the goalkeeper. And Arsenal taking that free kick, gone backwards to William Saliba, and that's across to Gabriel. Arsenal following a very similar pattern of play every single game that we play. We're coming forward again in midfield. Trossard just drops deep and lays it off to William Saliba finds the near side here, finds Ben White, Ben White keeps changing his hair, which makes it difficult to spot him, doesn't it? Because 1 minute he's got white hair and he's easy to spot, and then he dyes his hair black again and it's difficult to spot him again. But anyway, it was Ben White took that throw. But Sevilla managed to get that away, but not very long. They're not keeping the ball at all, Sevilla. It's all Arsenal. And you do imagine that if this game carries on like this, Arsenal should be looking at a comfortable victory, as we should at the weekend as well, when it's Burnley, of course. Struggling Burnley are visiting the Emirates at the weekend. And although we haven't beaten them in their last 2 visits to the Emirates, we haven't even scored against them in the last 2 visits. It's a different Burnley team now, isn't it? The way that they play under Vincent Kompany, and I'm sure there's goals in it for us at the weekend as well. But we have to get this game out of the way first. We have to win this game first. And then we can go from there. Anyway, Arsenal are coming forward. It's Martinelli over on that far side, gets past the defender rather easily. But the defender gets back at him. It falls into the penalty area to Declan Rice, lays it off to Trossard. And why don't we have a shot? Sometimes we overplay it, don't we? And we did a little bit there. Declan Rice could have had a shot, actually. He showed really good feet inside the area. And he laid it off to Trossard when maybe just have a pop. Yes, there's a defender there. There's defenders in front of you. But if you don't shoot, you're not going to score. And once again, we pass up an opportunity to have a shot as we did quite a lot on Saturday, didn't we? And that's Sevilla trying to come forward. But they're not going to advance very far at the pitch because Ben White has just committed a foul, though. It is going to be a free kick just inside their own half for Sevilla. And we resume the game with the balls back with goalkeeper Dimitrovic. And he just lays it off to the defender Goodell. Just so got the goal last week, didn't he? And he's already committed a couple of fouls on Bukayo Saka, so he's got to be careful, isn't he? Because you do feel as though his next one, he will be getting a booking out. Tomiyasu finds Jorginho in the centre of the pitch, lays it off to Declan Rice up this far side, finds Gabriel Martinelli. Again, he's going to have a run at this defence. He always wants to cut back inside, though, doesn't he? But he goes around the outside this time. Martinelli pulls it back, looking for Trossard. It's headed away well at that near post again by Sevilla. And again, we're not able to really create a big chance, are we? Trossard's just conceded a free kick by the look of it there. Looked like that was, he probably got the ball, did he there? But anyway, Terry says, I think VAR thought the best punishment for Havertz and Arsenal is not a red card. Keep him on and Arteta will pick him every game. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that was their idea. Anyway, it's all a bit... I think that's been exhausted a little bit, hasn't it? That whole kind of situation. Anyway, Goodell just committed another foul, and surely that's a yellow card, is it? No, the referee's still not going to book him, is he? Come on, mate, that's 3 fouls he's done in the last 5 minutes. How are you not booking him? Anyway, it's another free kick to Arsenal. Nathan says, how's he not got a yellow? Well, I don't know. How many fouls has he got to commit to get a yellow? Crazy. I know what'll happen. The first foul an Arsenal player commits, they'll get a booking, and he's just committed 3 blatant fouls. And yes, none of them on their own are probably a yellow card offence on their own in isolation. But when you put all 3 of them together that quickly, surely you've got to start thinking that this guy needs to be booked. Anyway, it's a very similar situation to the last free kick, which Gabriel headed wide. This one goes short instead, though. Martinelli plays it to the edge of the box to Trossard. Lovely little spin from him, but got the ball stuck under his feet. But he has found Martinelli on this near side. Dinks across towards the penalty spot. It's headed away by Sevilla. It's going to come back again to Martinelli. It's a throw, though, to Arsenal on this near side. And that was good defending, though, by Sevilla. And they seem to have set themselves up tonight to defend. It was a bit like this last week, though, wasn't it, for the first half an hour of the game or so. And it looks like it's a similar kind of thing from Sevilla tonight as well. They haven't looked a threat at all on the counter-attack, though, so far, have they? Anyway, Saka's trying to wiggle free. He's won a free kick. It's a different player that's fouled him this time. It's Kike Salas who fouled him that time. So maybe he's not going to get a yellow card, is he, for his first one? That would be strange, wouldn't it? I mean, it was a foul. Again, Saka kind of invites fouls a little bit with the way that he plays, but, you know, he needs to have a bit more protection, doesn't he? Let's be honest. A lot more protection. So it's another free kick again from a very similar place. This one's maybe slightly more central than the previous two. It's actually going to be Martinelli to take this one, not Saka. And we'll see if this can produce the opening goal. Saka's just taken up a place on the edge of the penalty area, looking for anything maybe that falls out there. Martinelli's free kick. Oh, it's not a good free kick. Doesn't even beat the first man. In fact, there is a flag up for offside. It's going to be a free kick to Sevilla. Anyway, that was a waste, wasn't it? What a waste of a free kick that was. I mean, it was a terrible free kick anyway, not even beating the first man. And for there to be an offside as well, just really poor all round there, wasn't it? Anyway, it is a free kick to Sevilla just on the edge of their own penalty area. And the ball now goes back to goalkeeper Dimitrovic. And he goes long, but it's flicked on there. But Arsenal going to pick the ball up in midfield with Declan Rice. Just touches it off to Tomiyasu. And Tomiyasu finds Martinelli over on that far side. Arsenal been a dominant team in these opening 16 minutes without really creating too much. Just those two little headed opportunities, which both of them potentially should have been better. But anyway, that's all we've managed to create so far. One from a corner, one from a free kick. We've not created anything of note in open play as yet. And we've played 16 minutes. All Arsenal possession. It is a possession football that Mikel Arteta wants. But we need some end products at some stage as well, don't we? We need some chances at goal. That's what we want to see. Anyway, Gabriel now just inside the Arsenal half, plays it forward to Tomiyasu, taking up that Zinchenko position in midfield when we've got possession. And that's with Saliba. Finds Ben White on this near side, touches it into Kai Havertz. Ben White again into Saka. That's a good turn from Saka. Finds Trossard on the edge of the box. Is that a foul? It is a foul. Again, it's on Bukayo Saka. Jorginho is saying it was Kike Salas. Again, that's two in a row for him without a booking. Saka did really well. And then that's a push in the back. It's a push in the back just outside the box. Again, on its own, that's probably not a booking. But again, he's done two fouls now in quick succession. And maybe they're taking turns now to foul Saka, aren't they? So they don't get booked. Nathan says it looks like Tomiyasu is inverting too. Well, that's Mikel Arteta wants, doesn't he? That's why Kieran Tierney had to leave, because he can't play that role, and that's what Mikel Arteta wants. That's what he wants is left back to do. Anyway, Tomiyasu seems to be doing okay in that role. I'm much happier with him playing than Zinchenko. I've got to be honest. He's a much better defender, isn't he? Anyway, this is a good chance for Arsenal on the edge of the box. It's a free kick. And is it going to be Saka or Martinelli to take it? It's about, 10 yards outside the box. It's going to be Saka, curl it with his left foot. Oh, it's too high. But again, it was Saka causing the problems with his direct running, and he was fouled in the end. And he tried to get that curled into that top corner, but it was too high. It did curl back, but it was far too high. And it's ended up in the clock end behind that goal. And it's another goal kick to Sevilla. We've played 18 and a half minutes. Arsenal 0, Sevilla 0. And it hasn't been a breathtaking game of football so far, has it? It's a game that Arsenal are dominating in terms of possession, but not really creating too much at all, are we? Anyway, it's a free kick to Sevilla on this near side. They haven't threatened us at all. David Reyes might as well get his cigars out. He's not had anything. He hasn't even touched the ball. I think even like his feet. Anyway, the Sevilla goalkeeper has kicked it out for a throw. Has it been kept in? I think it might have been kept in. No, it hasn't been kept in. It is a throw to Arsenal on this near side. Sevilla looking very, very poor. Certainly going forward, they've not got in our half. It's a throw to Arsenal on this near side. Ben White's taking this in front of the Sevilla dugout on this near side. He throws it back to Bukayo Saka. And that goes back to Gabriel, lays it off to Declan Rice. That's with Tomiyasu over on that far side. Goes past one player, plays it up the line. It's now into midfield to Declan Rice again. Well, Declan Rice gets caught in possession there, actually. It's unusual for him to do that. Then he got pushed off the ball, and suddenly Sevilla got a chance to come forward, but they passed the ball back instead. They're not looking to take any risks in this game, are they? Certainly not in this stage of the game. We're coming up towards the midway point in this first half. It is still 0-0. and not a lot of chances at either end. Well, none at the Sevilla end. It's all been Arsenal attacks, but we've created very little ourselves, and so we've played 20 minutes now. And Sevilla will be pretty happy with this 20 minutes because they've set themselves out not to concede. And that's certainly how it's gone so far. Martinelli over on that far side had a lot of the ball again in his early stages of this game. Caused one or two problems for Sevilla, but nothing for them to be too concerned about at this moment. Anyway, that's a good ball forward. Actually, in fact, it's not a good ball forward. Looking for Bukayo Saka. It's been overhit and it's gone behind for a goal kick to the Spaniards. Of course, there's a banner in the stadium there for Jose Antonio Reyes, of course, a former Sevilla player and, of course, an Arsenal player. One of the Invincibles, of course, as we know, who sadly died, of course, in 2019 in a car accident in Spain. Such sad news that was. He was only young. Great player, wasn't he? When he came to us, he had a good couple of years, and he got kicked off the pitch at Man United, and it was never quite the same after that, was he? I don't think he quite fancied the Premier League after that day, but a very, very talented player and a great guy as well. And it's good that Arsenal are remembering him tonight on this big night for the two clubs he spent most of his career with, didn't he? It's Bukayo Saka on his near side with a throw for Arsenal, leaves it instead to Ben White. It's just about in line with the Sevilla penalty area. He's going quite a few yards there, Ben White, actually. He's going to throw it up the line, looking for Leandro Trossard, controls it well. Got a defender right behind him, and Arsenal win another throw. In fact, the referee's given it to Sevilla. It clearly came off the Sevilla defender there. I'm not sure what the assistant saw there. Definitely came off the Sevilla player, Kike, I think it was. And he's given a throw to Sevilla. That was very strange because it clearly was Arsenal's throw. Anyway, let's not get too wrapped up in what the... Anyway, Trossard has just been complaining to the referee, and the referee's told him to go away, essentially. And it is a throw to Sevilla on this near side. Terry says, you'd never think this is a Champions League match. This atmosphere is more like a wet and windy night in Stoke. And the football's not much better, is it? Let's be honest. It doesn't look like an elite European competition. Mikel Arteta's come miles out of his technical area to get that ball. Nobody stops him today. He's allowed to walk up and down that touchline. He might as well get behind the goal. Anyway, Arsenal now looking at some possession. We've had 67% possession in this game. The 33% Sevilla have had must have just been inside their own penalty area because they've not even got inside our half. Although the ball's in our half now, but that's only because we put it there. And now Ben White's looking to bring it forward. Just touches it off, though, to William Saliba. Now it's with Tomiyasu. Plays out to that far side to Gabriel Martinelli. He's got a little bit of space to run into now, Martinelli. He's closed down by two defenders and has held the play up. Plays it back again to Tomiyasu. Back again to Martinelli. A little bit of space now. Can he whip a crossing? He's still in position. Got two defenders. Goes around the outside. Does whip a crossing. It's headed away at the near post. Only as far as Jorginho. Now it's Ben White from the edge of the penalty area. Fires it over the top into the clock end behind the goal. And another Arsenal attack comes to nothing. That was a little bit better, though, wasn't it? The cross came in well defended initially. Then Jorginho just laid it off to Ben White. First time shot from the edge of the box. Trying to curl it in that far corner. But got too much on it. And it's gone high. Very similar to the Saka free kick. Pretty much he went over the goal about the same point. Sevilla now looking to come forward. But not for very long. They don't win that header. And the ball falls to Declan Rice. Dinks it forward. Again, it's well defended. And now Kai Havertz on this near side gets his feet in a bit of a muddle. And Sevilla win the ball. And now they've won the throw. And again, Kai Havertz conceding possession. Gabriel Jesus up there in the stand. Of course, it was against this opposition that he got injured. Of course, he had scored in all three of our Champions League games up till now. Of course, he's not going to score in this one, is he? Or potentially the next one because he won't be playing. Anyway, Sevilla trying to come forward on this near side. William Saliba's across. Plays it back to David Raya. And he touches it off to Gabriel. In to Declan Rice, back to Gabriel. And now Sevilla pressing us actually high at the pitch for the first time. David Raya now just lays it off to William Saliba, to Ben White. Sorry, now it's with Jorginho on this near side. Finds Bukayo Saka. Arsenal have beaten the press, but we're still inside our own half. Now we're coming forward with Martinelli over on that far side. Plays the ball forward there. Trossard it was. Plays it back in, headed out. Again by Sevilla, who's defended pretty well. Ben White now on his near side, plays out the line to Bukayo Saka. He's going to have a run at the Sevilla defence, gets to the byline. Can he pull the ball back? He does. Again, it's well defended at the near post. But Trossard's in quickly, wins the ball back for Arsenal on this near side. Leandro Trossard flicks it through the gap, gets it back from Saka. Oh, that cross is poor. Blocked again, but it comes back to Ben White. Trossard again. This is good pressure from Arsenal. Saka inside the penalty area, goes down. But I don't think that was a foul. But Arsenal carry on. The ball's out to that far side now. Martinelli inside the penalty area. Can he get a shot away? Pull it back. He pulls it back. Oh, there's no Arsenal player there. It's hooked away again by a Sevilla defender. And now it's with William Saliba. It's good pressure this from Arsenal. You see it. You feel a goal's coming. Is it going to be now for Kai Havertz inside the box? He runs into a little bit of trouble there. Then the shot comes in from outside the box from Jorginho, just over the top. But that was good pressure that from Arsenal. That's the best we've managed in this game. 26 minutes played. They're looking back at that Saka one here. Was it a penalty? Well, it was a dive. Let's be honest. It was a dive. He wasn't even touched and he's gone down. And the referee quite rightly didn't give that as a penalty. You could almost say it's a booking for diving, really. But anyway, that wasn't good from Bukayo Saka, was it? To be honest, we don't want to see that, do we? And in the end, it was Jorginho's shot that went just over the top of the crossbar. But that's probably the best moments for Arsenal in this game. It's going to be a throw now on this near side. Ben White throws it back to William Saliba. And now plays it square to Gabriel. Gets it back to William Saliba. Now it's with Ben White. Plays it back again. And Arsenal keeping possession inside our own half. Tomiyasu now inside the centre circle. Finds Martinelli over on that near side. Martinelli's having a good run. Is he going to get to the byline? Can he pull the ball back? He does. Again, it's defended well at the near post. Again, Arsenal maybe not attacking that near post to get on the end of that. Good play again from Martinelli. He's looked pretty lively and dangerous down that far side Arsenal's left, hasn't he, in these first 27, 28 minutes. He's got past that defender all day long, hasn't he? Sanchez, I think it is over there. He's beating him for fun. And he's got the ball again. Martinelli looks like the most likely to create something. He's inside the box again, gets to the byline again. Again, he pulls it back. And again, there's no Arsenal player there. It's headed behind by Barde. It's going to be a corner to Arsenal in front of those Sevilla fans behind that goal. Nathan says there, Martinelli has been so good so far. He has, yeah. He's caused all the problems, isn't he? Gunnar Dan says, oh no, how many accounts have you got? Yeah, we've got our friend back again. He keeps wanting me to put a question up. He tells everybody they should put super chat. We'll put a super chat in. Put £100 super chat and I'll read your question out. How's that sound? Anyway, cross comes into the box. It's headed out though by Sevilla. And then it's put out by William Saliba. We just seem to be lacking a little spark inside the penalty area, don't we? With Martinelli's creating havoc down that left-hand side for Arsenal, isn't he? Getting to the byline, pulling the ball back. And Arsenal, there's no Arsenal player there attacking it, is there? It's just cleared away quite comfortably by Sevilla. So if we're going to score from doing that, we need someone to be attacking that near post. Anyway, we're coming forward again. Jorginho finds Ben White. You do feel a goal is coming for Arsenal as we approach the half an hour mark. That's a great ball. Saka's in, plays it across the box. This time there is a goal. It's worked. It's Trossard with it. Finally, we put together a great passing move there. Saka got clear down the right-hand side, squared it across the box. And there is Trossard to fire home. A simple finish, a great goal. You have to say it's been coming and fully deserved. So, of course, that can only mean one thing. Indeed, it is 1-0 to the Arsenal. Phil says, trust the boss. Some pass. It was a great pass. Just onside. Lovely finish. That's a great goal, actually, you have to say. Galadad says, yes. Terry says, Trossard. Nathan says, what a goal, what a pass. It was, yeah. Saka Lovely ball across the box, and Trossard arrives to stick it away. And finally, a move for Arsenal's paid off, and a very, very well worked goal, well made and well taken from Leandro Trossard, back in the side tonight and getting a goal. We said he needed a goal. He's got one. 29 minutes played, Arsenal lead, and it's good stuff. Going down says PSV are 1-0 up in our group as well. Are they? Right, okay. Is that good news or not? I can't remember the let's have a look at the group actually. Wasn't PSV top, or was we top before? Anyway, let's have a look at where are we? The tables here. Yeah, we're top. PSV are second, Lens are third, and Sevilla are bottom as things stand. But anyway, let's see what the rest what the rest of the games bring. Man United are 2-0 up. Yeah, PSV are leading against Lens. It was De Jong actually with a goal. They just had Arsenal's goal again. Brilliant goal that. Nathan says there the game needed that bit of quality. Yeah, it's we've been playing quite well. Just in that final third, we've just lacked a little bit of, I don't know, some little spark, and we got it there, didn't we? A brilliant pass to Saka, a brilliant pass across from Saka, and a lovely finish. And football's a simple game, isn't it? Sometimes it is a simple game, and sometimes it's overcomplicated. And that was just simple, 3 passes, bang, 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 and it's a goal. And that's how you do it. If you pass the ball forward into dangerous areas, that's how you're going to score goals. Sideways and backwards passing doesn't tend to lead to too much, does it? Anyway, it's a free kick to Sevilla now. They look to respond to this goal they've conceded. That's a free kick into the box, but it's straight down David Raya's throat, and he comfortably collects that. And the fact that Aaron Ramsdale's not even getting picked for these group games in the Champions League doesn't really bode well, does it, for his Arsenal future? Looks as though he's probably going to be on his way in January. Another goalkeeper that hasn't lasted the course under this manager. Martinez, Bernd Leno, and now Ramsdale, obviously Renarson as well. There's a few, isn't there, goalkeepers that have gone by the wayside. And I think Ramsdale's probably going to be the next one to follow suit, you would imagine. Looks like his days are definitely numbered. And just looking at the bench, you wonder what opportunities some of these players are going to get. Reece Nelson, when's he going to get to start more games? Fabio Vieira, he's not really starting enough games, is he? Is he good enough? Maybe not, but he's in the squad. He's on the bench. Seems crazy that you're not using your squad players more in games like this. We're in control of this group. We're at home to a team that we should beat. This is the time to rotate. Anyway, Saka is now going on another run. Can he create another goal? It's across all the way to the far post, over hit. I don't think Martinelli is going to keep it in his heel. I think he might just have kept that in. Good play there from Martinelli. And he's going to try and get the ball again, is he? But Sevilla do manage to get it clear. They've been really, really poor, actually. Well, I mean, I say they've been poor. I don't think we've allowed them to play, have we? So we've kept the ball in their half. Martinelli is toying with them, it seems. Anyway, Ben White now on this near side finds Bukayo Saka. His pass that led to the goal. Plays it into Kai Havertz, just lays it off to Ben White again. Dan says, yes, we could top the group. Yeah, I mean, I think, if we win this game, that'll be 9 points, won't it, from 4 games? That should be enough to put us through, really, shouldn't it, with 2 games left? Anyway, Kai Havertz plays up line to Saka. Wasn't a great ball. Saka's got pushed off it there, and he's won a free kick. It was Kika there who kind of complaining that wasn't a foul, but he didn't even need to foul him, did he? Nathan says they're card shy this week, but he's not booking anybody for anything. And I suppose at least he's consistent with that, isn't he? I wouldn't have liked to see him book somebody for their first foul when he's let certainly a couple of Sevilla players get away with 3 or 4 fouls already, hasn't he? So at least he's been consistent so far. But I still expect an Arsenal player to get booked first. Anyway, this free kick's just outside the penalty area. It's on this near side. It's about 10 yards in from the corner flag. Not an angle to shoot, but it's going to be Saka with it, probably to dink this towards that penalty spot, you would imagine. See if someone can attack this. Or is he going to try and put it into that far post area? Potentially, a lot of Arsenal players seem to be hanging around the far post. Can Saka pick somebody out with his free kick? He puts it in towards the edge of 6 yards, too close to the goalkeeper, who punches it clear. And Sevilla get it clear, but not for long. It's now with Declan Rice over on that far side. Rice again plays it back to Jorginho, and Sevilla have pushed us back towards halfway in actual fact. But now it's Trossard, the goal scorer. He wanted Saka to go ahead of him. Instead, Saka dropped short. He's had to go square to Jorginho, who pings it out to that far side, looking for Martin. It wasn't a good ball. And now Sevilla can come forward for, well, pretty much the first time with any purpose, but they've gone back again, actually. And now the ball's gone all the way back. Oh, I guess it's about to go back to the goalkeeper. Good play from Kai Havertz it was to prevent that from happening. It has gone back to the goalkeeper now. And he plays it out to that far side. Arsenal pressing high up the pitch. Martinelli winning the ball back, but it's gone out for a goal kick. So we've played, 36 minutes now. Arsenal 1, Sevilla 0. Dominant Arsenal performance. We're not creating as many opportunities as maybe our possession and stuff as deserved, but we're winning the game. That's all we can do. And maybe that's the reason why Arteta hasn't made changes to the team, because maybe the pressures there, having lost the last 2, not to take any risks tonight, get the job done, and then maybe bring some of the squad players off the bench later on. Maybe we'll see. But it's only 1-0, so this game certainly isn't won yet, is it? At this point in the game, we certainly need another goal or two to finish it off. But Sevilla haven't really threatened at all. But I'm sure they'll have moments in the game. I mean, this was very similar to the game we played them before, wasn't it? When we were pretty much dominant in control. We got the second goal early in the second half. It looked like we were going to go on and win quite comfortably, but they pulled the goal back and then they came back right into the game, didn't they? So maybe it might be a similar story tonight, maybe. But let's get that second goal. Let's see if we can settle ourselves down a little bit better and then move forward from there and hopefully get the 3 points, which should put us on the brink of qualification, won't it, to the knockout stage. In fact, if PSV win, I think that might well put us through, mightn't it? I'm not sure if the others could catch us then, could they? I'll work it all out in a minute. We'll do it at half time, so we'll have a look at the group and everything like that. Anyway, Arsenal are now coming forward on this near side. Ben White plays it to Kai Havertz. Ben White gets it back again, and that goes all the way back to William Saliba. The one thing I have to say about Arsenal is we are very comfortable in possession of the ball. We're quite happy to go backwards to keep holding the ball, and sometimes I think it's too much. And I'd like to see, as when we got the goal, that's what you want to see. A couple of forward passes, you're in behind and you've scored. And I'd like to see us do that more often in games. We don't do it often enough for me, especially when a team's got sort of a very defensive mindset, as most teams do that come to the Emirates, let's be honest. Anyway, the goalkeeper goes long again for Sevilla. Oh, now suddenly there's an opportunity for them to come forward for the first time. He's running through, but good tackle by William Saliba there. It was Pedrosa, I think it was, running forward. And then William Saliba got back. And that's a great tackle by William Saliba. And now Arsenal looking to get that second goal. Saka plays it out to Martinelli. Tomiyasu, who's gone steaming outside him. But Martinelli keeps the ball. He should have given it to Tomiyasu. A couple of times he could have passed to Tomiyasu and hasn't done. And anyway, Tomiyasu is going to keep making them runs, I'm sure. Now it's with Ben White. Plays it back to Jorginho. I think Jorginho is much better suited to the Champions League, isn't he? He's not quite as frantic in midfield. He gets a little bit more time, and I think that suits him. He's played well in the Champions League. Sometimes in the Premier League, he gets bullied off the ball a little bit sometimes, doesn't he? And it's too frantic for him, maybe. But certainly the Champions League games do seem to really suit him. He's having a good game tonight. Anyway, also coming forward again. Again, it's Martinelli over on that far side. Can he get a cross in? He does get a cross in. Again, it's well defended by Sevilla, who for the most part have defended well. And it has taken a little bit of quality from us to break them down and get the goal. Terry says, played Saliba. Indeed, yeah, it was good play from William Saliba. Great tackle it was. It was Pedrosa there trying to go through, but he was running out of legs a little bit, and William Saliba stuck out one of his long legs and got the ball. The Sevilla manager there was claiming a penalty, but it wasn't. It was a clean tackle. It was a very good tackle. But that's the first time Sevilla have threatened at all in this game. And that's the first bit of real defending that we've had to do. And William Saliba showed what a great defender he is. And we know how great a defender he is already, don't we? And he just proved it again there. Anyway, it's a throw to Arsenal over on that far side. We're into the last 5 minutes of the first half, which has pretty much flown by, hasn't it? It's not been the greatest game, but it's been a dominant Arsenal performance and a very, very good goal. And Kai Havertz has committed a foul, his first foul. I thought the referee was going to get his yellow card out there, but he hasn't. That would have just summed up what I was saying earlier. Patrick says there it's 1-0 to the Gunners at the moment. It is indeed 1-0. It is indeed 1-0, yes. And Kai Havertz has committed a foul, though. Not quite as bad as a foul he committed on Saturday. And he doesn't get himself a yellow card. There's been no yellow cards in this first half. So you're not going to get a lot of stoppage time in this game because there's been no VAR checks. There's been no stoppages. There's been no yellow cards. It's just, and isn't the game much better when it's like that? You know, rather than having an 8-minute break in play for, for VAR to check all them different things. Patrick says Trossard's got it. He did, yeah. Trossard did score a very good goal. It was. I don't know if you watched it, Patrick. I hope you did. It was a great goal. And it was a great move. And Arsenal now looking for a second goal, but we're not going to get a chance now because it's a handball, is it, against Kai Havertz? And the referee's having a word with the German again. I bet he book. I'll tell you, he's going to book an Arsenal player before he books a Sevilla player, even though they've committed more fouls. I just know that's going to happen. You can see it, can't you? Anyway, Bukayo Saka charges down that clearance there from Kike. He's gone back to the goalkeeper. And we're into the last few minutes of this first half. So there's going to be very, very little stoppage time. I'm maybe expecting a minute, if that really. There's been no stoppages at all. But there's no stoppage time whatsoever. But we'll say a minute because you normally get something, don't you? And it's been a dominant Arsenal first half performance. We've played well, haven't created an awful lot of chances, but the goal was a brilliant piece of football, well worked and well finished. And that's been clearly the highlight of this first half. And Arsenal are almost halfway to getting the job done tonight and potentially getting the job done for this group as well. I'm sure Sevilla will show a little bit more ambition in the second half. They're going to have to, aren't they? Because if they don't attempt to come forward in the second half, they're going to lose the game, aren't they? So you'd imagine at some point they'll have to take one or two risks, which may, of course, benefit us because there's not been a lot of spaces to work in, has there, going forward? Martinelli's found a few, and, of course, Saka found one for the goal that he created for Trossard. But other than that, we've struggled to really create a lot, haven't we? Again, it's a little bit of a worrying trend recently. But now we've got an opportunity here. Declan Rice got a lot of space over on that far side. Finds Martinelli. The pass was a little bit overhit, but Martinelli's managed to keep it in. Oh, lovely bit of skill for Martinelli. Puts a cross in towards the far post. Looking for Havertz, cleared away. So they don't really get it away. Saka, it's into Trossard. Nice touch, but it's cleared away again. That was lovely play from Martinelli over on that far side. It really was. He's having a great first half, isn't he? Anyway, Sevilla now trying to come forward, but Ben White steps in. And Sevilla have committed another foul just inside their own half. It's on Jorginho. But what a bit of skill that was from Martinelli. The ball was going out. A little flick then past the defender. That was brilliant stuff there, wasn't it, from Martinelli, who's probably been the best player on the pitch in this first half. And he dinked a little cross out looking for Kai Havertz at the far post. But Sevilla, again, defended it pretty well. They've defended the balls into the box pretty well, haven't they? And I say that quick bit of passing was what opened them up. And that's what we're going to have to do more if we're going to get a second goal. Anyone else going forward again? Trossard, Martinelli's gone ahead of him. Now Martinelli again's got that ball over on that far side. He's given that fullback an absolute runaround in this game, hasn't he? Sanchez, Joanelli, and he couldn't keep that cross in though, could he? Martinelli, it's gone behind. But he's been brilliant in this first half. Really, really good play from him again, the young Brazilian. We're into the last minute of the 45, and I'm not really expecting much stoppage time at all. So I think this could well be the very, very dying stages of this first half. It's been a good first half from Arsenal. We've got the lead, fully deserved the lead as well. You just feel as though we need to get that second goal, really, don't we? And if we do that, I'm sure that will seal the points because Sevilla don't look like scoring one, do they, let alone two. But they did score one in the previous game, didn't they, away a couple of weeks ago. So, and that was from a set piece, wasn't it? So we know how dangerous they could potentially be, but they've threatened us not at all in this game so far as we approach half time. Fernando there lays the ball off. It's gone out for a throw to Arsenal over on that far side, and there is going to be 1 minute of stoppage time. Yeah, I thought 1 minute was about the most we'd get, and I say I like games like this. You know, it's flowed. The ball's been in play a lot of the time. There's not been any unnecessary hold-ups, no rolling around, no VAR nonsense. Just football for 45 minutes, and it's been a good 45 from Arsenal. Ben White on this near side lays it back to William Saliba, pops it into Jorginho, lays it off now to Gabriel. Now he plays it out to that far side to Declan Rice, playing in that Granit Xhaka-like position, isn't he? In this game, finds Martinelli, who's been the star of the show, hasn't he, by an absolute mile. Just touches it off to Tomiyasu. He's going to get it back again. Martinelli into the last few seconds of the first half. Are we going to get a second goal now? Martinelli, he's got two defenders ahead of him. Won't worry about that. Tomiyasu. Martinelli again. Can he get a cross in? Again, he just wants to take people on today. There he does get a cross in towards the near post. Again, it's headed out well by Sevilla. There's the minute of stoppage time played, and there goes the half-time whistle. It's been a good first half from Arsenal. It is Arsenal 1, Sevilla 0. It was a goal midway through that half by Leandro Trossard, back in the starting lineup tonight, back with a goal. That's his 6th goal of the season. He's Arsenal's top scorer now, believe it or not. Seems strange, doesn't it, when he hardly seems to play, but he's actually our top scorer with 6 goals. And it was Bukayo Saka who created it for him. It was a lovely ball through that right-hand side. I think it was Jorginho who played the ball through, and then Saka pulled it across, and there was Trossard to tuck it away. And that's the difference between the sides in terms of the scoreline, but there's been a massive difference between the sides in terms of, possession of the ball and stuff like that, chances created. So we haven't threatened at all. So, yeah, it's 1-0 at half-time, which actually what we'll do then, because it is... to the Arsenal as we like it. Terry says, hats off to the ref. He's been the second best person on the pitch after Martinelli. I'm assuming that you mean. He's done well, the ref. Yeah, he just let it go and he let the game flow, which is good. Let's have a look at the other scores. Bayern 0, Galatasaray 0, Copenhagen 0, Man United 2 at half-time there. That's a good result for them, isn't it? Highland with both of their goals there. Obviously, Arsenal 1, Sevilla 0, PSV Eindhoven 1, Lens 0. In Group C, it finished earlier. Napoli 1, Union Berlin 1. It's currently Real Madrid 1, Sporting Lisbon 0. Group D, Real Sociedad 3, Benfica 1. That's a full-time score. It is Salzburg 0, Inter Milan 0 at half-time. And that is that for tonight. So let's have a look at the group, shall we? So Bayern and Man United are first and second in their group. Man United will go above Galatasaray if things stay as they are. We're obviously top of our group with 9 points. PSV and Lens both have 5. So we won't be quite there yet, will we? Sevilla will have just 2 points if it stays like this. In Group C, Real Madrid and Napoli are the top 2. Look as though they're both going to go through there. It's Sociedad and Inter Milan, the top 2 in Group D. And it looks like they're going to go through as well. In Group E, which of course last night's groups, Atletico Madrid and Lazio. Feyenoord could still go through. Celtic are out. Group F is still anybody's game, isn't it? Dortmund, PSG, AC Milan and Newcastle are only 3 points separating all the teams in that group. So that's going to go down to the final game, isn't it? Newcastle need a win in their next one. In Group G, Man City, 4 wins out of 4. They're virtually through. Leipzig look as though they're going to be going through one. Those 2 are through, aren't they, in that Group G? And then Group H, Barcelona and FC Porto on 9 points, Shakhtar on 6, and Royal Antwerp are out with 0. It's actually Champions League then. And Arsenal on the verge, on the brink of qualification. We should get through this group. We've kind of felt we would when we saw the draw, which is fine. But yeah, it's been a good first half, isn't it? A good performance from Arsenal. I'd like to see us score a few more goals, obviously. But yeah, let's see what the second half brings. Anything going on that we need to be concerning ourselves with? Let's have a look. No, I don't think so. Looks like everything's cool. I'm looking forward to the second half. Just to give you a reminder at half-time and what we've got coming up on the channel for you the rest of the week. On Friday, of course, it is the Arsenal Women's Show. Myself, Andreas, and Amar will be here. Maybe another guest who might come as well. Who knows? We'll have to see. We're going to be looking back on the victory over Manchester City last Sunday. What game that was. Drama that had in it, didn't it? So we'll look back on that one. Tomorrow night, there is a Continental Cup game, group game against Bristol City at Meadow Park. So we'll have a look back on that as well. And, of course, we'll be looking ahead to the weekend game away at Leicester, which is a Sunday night game, isn't it? So we are going to be looking into that as well. So that's on Friday at 7:30. So join us all for that one because that's a great show. It's the third season we've been doing this now, isn't it? I'm sure, and I may be wrong, but I've not seen another channel that's had a weekly Arsenal women's show for the last 3 seasons like we have. So we've been setting the standard. We're a bit of a trailblazer on the women's team. So yeah, join us for that on Friday. Of course, Saturday, the next watch-along is going to be Arsenal against Burnley on Saturday afternoon, 3:00 kickoff. So we'll be at 2:45 for that one. So join us for that because that is going to be another big game. Should be a good win for Arsenal, we're hoping, but we'll see. And of course, on Sunday is the women. I say it's a late kickoff, 7:15. So we'll be about 6:30 on Sunday for that one. Arsenal women against Leicester. It's Leicester away. They've had a good start to the season, Leicester, but we're in a bit of formula, aren't we? With 3 wins in a row. We need to keep that momentum going, keep ourselves right in that title race. A big win will be good, wouldn't it? We've had a couple of big wins at Leicester in the last couple of seasons. They're a better team now. I'm sure it's not going to be as easy as all that, but you want to see the goals flowing, don't we? That's what we want to see. So that is going to be good. So lots and lots of good stuff coming up on the channel. So please join us for that over the next few days, which is all good stuff, of course. We look forward to having your company for all of that as well. And if you missed my vlog of the Newcastle game, check that out. It's been one of the highest viewing videos on the channel, actually. I think it's a lot of Newcastle fans watching it just to laugh, of course, because they beat us. But anyway, if you haven't seen that, check that out because it's quite a good video. And I do put a lot of time into the video, so it's nice if people watch them and like them and all that kind of stuff there. Terry says there, as the game has been flowing, I take it there's no English officials involved. Well, obviously not, no. You wouldn't get English official when an English team playing, no. Terry says, you doing the women's game tomorrow? I'm not, no. On a Thursday, I play 5-a-side and I play 5-a-side 7 till 8. And because the game starts at 7, I won't get home until probably halfway through the second half. So I won't be here to do it, unfortunately. So I'm afraid not. I'll catch up on the highlights, obviously, before Friday. But we're going to talk about it, obviously, on Friday's show anyway. I just can't do the watch. I'm a bit disappointed they're playing them on a Thursday. I think there's a few of the group games coming on a Thursday, aren't they? Which, isn't ideal for me, as I say, due to the fact that I do play football on a Thursday, 5-a-side. So yeah, it's a prior commitment that I've got, a weekly thing. So yeah, I can't just give that up just because the game's on, unfortunately, as much as I'd like to, unless it was get called off. If my 5-a-side gets called off, then obviously I'll do the game, but it seems unlikely. Terry says trendsetter. Well, yeah, I think we've been a bit of a trendsetter. I know when I started doing a women's show, I couldn't find another channel that was doing one. One of the reasons why I wanted to do it, because I didn't feel as though anybody was giving the team the coverage they deserved. Colin Schooner says, great support for the women's team from this channel. Well done. No, thanks, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's something that, I've been a big supporter of women's football for a long, long time, and obviously the Arsenal women's team. So, yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why I set the channel up in the first place was to give the women's team and women's football a platform, if you like, because I say there wasn't anybody that was really doing it. And it's only now that it's become more popular since the Euros that other channels are starting to get involved and cover the women's game more. And there's more and more people doing it now, and that's great. The more coverage it gets, the better it is. And as long as people remember that we're here and we're still doing it, and when the bigger channels start covering it more, which they have done, it's good that you guys are still watching us and supporting us as we're doing it, because, it's something that we're really, really, really passionate about on this channel. So it's great that you guys are getting involved in it as well. But so that's all coming up. I'll say there's some good stuff coming up over the next few days. So join us. Hopefully, we're going to be having a good second half to come as well. So I would like to see Arsenal score a couple more goals. You do feel as if this Sevilla team aren't great, are they? Although they are the Europa League winners, the way they're playing tonight, it looks as though they're quite happy to drop back into the Europa League by finishing third. But they're going to have work to do just even to finish third in this group, aren't they? Because at the minute, they're bottom. And they maybe need something here just to try to help them to get that third place, which I'm sure would be the minimum that they'd be looking for here, wouldn't it? And so I don't think they'd be too disappointed if it was to happen that they dropped into that Europa League again. Which, of course, I say they did win last season. 7 times they've won it. Incredible, isn't it? Of course, Unai Emery won it 3 times in a row, didn't he? When he was their manager back in his pre-Arsenal days, shall we say. Not doing too bad now, is it, Aston Villa? Anyway, I need your help, guys. Actually, I've entered this. I've probably told you about it. I've entered this last man standing at work, and I've gone through. Still, I've picked Man City. I've picked Arsenal the first. I've picked Tottenham the first week, Man City the second week, Arsenal last week, the week, and then what was the last game I did? I can't remember. But I've got through again. Oh, it was Man City, wasn't it, this week against Bournemouth? It was Arsenal the week before against Sheffield United. So I need some help this week on the team to pick because I'm kind of unsure. So I can't pick Arsenal, Tottenham, or Man City because I've picked them already. Just looking through the fixtures. Now, what do we think? I'm kind of thinking either Man United at home to Luton, although Luton have picked up their form. They've obviously got a great draw against Liverpool. That was at home. Man United have got a Champions League game tonight away. I'm a little bit concerned that could end up in a draw, that one. Aston Villa, Fulham's another one that I've been looking at. Aston Villa at home. I think they've won 12 in a row, haven't they, at home? But again, they've got a Conference League, a Europa League game tomorrow. Although they're playing Sunday, sometimes coming off a Europa League. It's difficult, isn't it, for a team and Fulham are capable of getting a result at Villa, I'm sure. Brighton at home to Sheffield United. The same issue with Brighton. They're coming off the back of a European game. They're not playing that well. Liverpool at home to Brentford. Again, Liverpool coming off the Europa League, but Brentford at home to Brentford, you'd fancy them to win. I don't know. I'm struggling a bit here. Newcastle away at Bournemouth. Again, under normal circumstances, you'd probably say you'd fancy Newcastle, but they've got injuries. They're just getting back from a European away game. All these kind of things you've got to weigh up, haven't you? So yeah, I'm a little bit worried about this week, which team to go for. Probably end up going Aston Villa, Fulham. What do you think? Let me know which game you'd go for. Whatever one I pick's probably going to end in a draw, isn't it? It's coming down to Man United at home to Luton or Villa at home to Fulham, probably. West Ham at home to Nottingham Forest. West Ham a bit hit and miss, aren't they? Yeah, maybe Villa. Oh, Corny Schooner says, I think I'd go Villa. Yeah, Villa's the one sticking out to me. Although they've got a European game on Thursday, I think they're at home, aren't they? And they're at home again on Sunday. So, yeah, I will probably go Villa. I've been wanting to keep Villa until they're a home game because of how strong they are at home. But we'll see. Terry says, to be fair, all the guys you have on the women's show are all real top guys. You've done really well there. Yeah, I mean, they are great guys, yeah. And I'm really, it's kind of worked out really well because we've developed some real good friendships on that show. You know, we've met up at the games and all that kind of stuff. And it's been great. And that's one of the reasons, another reason why I wanted to do it, to try to, I don't know whether, all the guys would have gone to as many games if it wasn't for us lot all going together, all that kind of stuff, So, but yeah, it's good, and hopefully you guys enjoy the show. That's the main thing as well, isn't it? Greg says, I'll go for Liverpool, would you? Home to Brentford. See, Brentford have won their last 3 games, I think, haven't they? And I know they're away, but Liverpool coming off a European game, it always worries me on the weekend after a European game. Liverpool, let's have a look at where they are in Europe, actually. Let's have a look. See, West Ham are at home. Brighton are away, so that's a dodgy one to pick. Liverpool are away in Europe against Toulouse, so that's a bit of a dodgy one, isn't it? See, Villa are at home Sevilla are at home on Thursday and they're at home Sunday. So I think that's definitely an advantage to be at home. Liverpool are away. And they got, I'd say Brentford are in good form. West Ham are at home, aren't they, actually? So that might not be too bad either. God, it's a tough one this week. The first few weeks, it's been quite easy. I've looked at the game and straight away I've gone, yeah, no problem. I know I'm bicking, but this week I've got a few. See, Liverpool, you throw me now. Maybe Liverpool is what I should go for. Russ is in the chat here, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're well. PSV beating on. Yeah, they are 1-0, yeah. Which I don't know if that's good for us or not, really. If we win that game, it doesn't matter anyway, let's be honest. Terry says, Newcastle for me, do it for Eddie. Yeah, I want to save Newcastle maybe for when they're at home. Away at Bournemouth looks like they should win, but coming off a European away trip. Russ says, United capitulating, it's always fun. So is it they were winning 2-0? Are they not winning 2-0 anymore? Let me just check. Where are we? Oh my, it's 2-2 at half time. Wow. They conceded 2 goals in stoppage time into that first half, Man United. And they've had Marcus Rashford sent off. Wow, it's all going wrong for them, isn't it? I'm definitely not backing Man United at the weekend and against Luton. At least that's one team off my list. I didn't realise that they was throwing that away. Well, they'll probably lose that game now, won't they, with 10 players? But anyway, wow. That's something I wasn't expecting to see. Last time I looked, it was almost half time and they were 2-0 up. Anyway, yeah, you're right. You can't ever get sick of watching Man United struggling. Any Arsenal fan that went through the 1990s, seeing them winning everything and causing us, stopping us. If it wasn't for that Man United team in the 90s, we would have won a lot more Premier Leagues, a lot more trophies, wouldn't we? So to see them struggling now is quite enjoyable, I must admit. But I'm more worried about how we're doing, but it is quite funny. Cornish Gooner says, "Oops, Luton on for the win." Yeah, well, it's certainly a draw at least. I would say. I think that's probably what we're doing. Anyway, the teams are back out for this second half, and Arsenal making a change at half time by the look of it. Just going to confirm who's coming on. I don't know if it's an injury. It's Zinchenko coming on. Oh dear. Is it Tomiyasu that's going off then? He played quite well in that first half, Tomiyasu. I thought he did anyway. It might not be Tomiyasu. I'm just assuming it is because he really changes the shape of the team, does he? So I guess that's the change. So Zinchenko is on. And let's have a look who's gone off. We'll assume it's Tomiyasu for the time being. It is Tomiyasu, yeah. I hope it's not an injury. Well, I say I hope it's not an injury. I hope it is an injury in a way because I wouldn't want to think Tomiyasu's got taken off for any other reason because he was playing well. But obviously, we don't want him to be injured because he seems to be always injured and he's been playing well. But anyways, Zinchenko is on for Tomiyasu for this second half, which Sevilla are going to just kick off now in this blue kit, attacking a goal to our right, which is the clock end. And Arsenal will, of course, be taking the North Bank in the second half. It is 1-0, as we said. Cornish Gooner says, Ryan Giggs pulling his white shirt off after scoring that winner in a cup semi-final still gives me nightmares. Yeah, I was at that game. And I have to say that, yes, obviously the way it finished was terrible. We should have won that game, as we know, with the penalty and we had a goal disallowed. The funny thing was that night, we scored a goal. We was up the other end. We was at the Holt end. And we scored a goal in the second half up the other end. I think it was Anelka scored. And we all went mental because it obviously put us 2-1 up. We thought we was in front. And it must have been about 5 minutes after the goal until we realised it had been disallowed because we were celebrating so much. And then we go, it's actually still 1-1. Okay. And of course it finished. But it was a great game of football, though, to be fair. 2 great teams going at each other. There was red cards, there was penalty, there was drama, extra time. Incredible game. Terry says, have you all hit that like button tonight? Yes, have you all hit like button? Please make sure you give us a like as well because that all does help the channel. And it's always good to see, isn't it? A lot of likes generally leads to a good Arsenal win and a good Arsenal performance. So you can play your part. And, otherwise what happens is we'll be moaning. I'll be moaning, Arteta was moaning about VAR was a problem and I'll be moaning that you guys haven't given us a like. That would be a problem. So I'll release a statement in the morning to say Arsenal have lost because not enough of our subscribers, not enough of our viewers like the show. And that's why. And that's what we'll have to do. And I'm sure Arsenal will back me in that as well. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Corey's going, oh yeah, it was a great game though. Terry says Martinelli playing left back in the second half. Yeah, I think what happened was that's probably why he took him off. Why he took Tomiyasu off, because he probably thought, oh, actually, Martinelli, you've done too much attacking in that half, mate. We need you to come back. So we'll bring on a shit left back. So you're going to have to cover for him all second half, and then it will stop you going forward all the time. That's probably the idea. Anyway, Trossard, the goal scorer, finds Kai Havertz as the ball taken off him far too easily. How he's still even on the pitch. How he's still in an Arsenal shirt, I don't know. But anyway, there you go. And the ball's now gone all the way through to the Sevilla goalkeeper, Dimitrovic, who, let's be honest, if you saw him down a dark alley, you'd be quite scared, wouldn't you? Because he's a big lad. He looks quite terrifying, doesn't he? The Serbian goalkeeper for Sevilla. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. He just looks a bit scary, doesn't he? Anyway, he's just kicked that long towards halfway, and the ball bounces a couple of times, and Gabriel has just conceded a free kick. Bit of a silly foul that really from Gabriel. I don't know what he's complaining about. It was on our old friend Eric Lamela. Of course, he used to play for Tottenham, didn't he? If you remember. Was he the one who scored that Rabona goal? I think it was, wasn't it? That time when Tottenham went mad about it and they lost the game. So, yeah. What good did that Rabona do you, Lamela? No good at all, mate. You shouldn't have bothered, should you? Anyway, it's a free kick now to Sevilla. We played 3 minutes of the second half. The ball played into the box. They did score from a set piece last time, but they haven't scored from this one because we've managed to scramble that away. And now Bukayo Saka on a counter-attack. Trossard is steaming through the middle. It's like the Alamo coming forward. Saka's got a lot of options. Plays the ball here to Kai Havertz inside the area. Kai Havertz shot. Was it deflected? It was almost his first goal at the Emirates. That would have been a great moment actually for him. Lovely counter-attack, actually. Saka did really, really well. Knocked it past the defender, and then he just ran into the space. And suddenly there were 4 Arsenal players coming forward. Trossard, Havertz and Declan Rice, and also Martinelli. And in the end, Havertz's shot was deflected wide. Comedy School said it was great to see Tommy taking a press conference the other day. Nice to see his personality. His English is pretty good too. Yeah, I mean, he's not given many interviews, has he, since he's been at Arsenal? He's a very quiet character, isn't he? But he just gets on with his job, and I like that. And it was nice to see him do a press conference. It's nice I like to hear all the players speak. In fact, it was after the game. Which game was it? The other week when I thought it might have been a Newcastle game when David Raya did an interview. I've never heard him speak before, David Raya, and he did an interview after the Newcastle game. And it's just nice to hear the players, isn't it? I enjoy listening to the interviews. Sometimes I'll listen to the players' interviews. For most teams, I just find it interesting because I used to do that as a job, I suppose, as well. Is probably one of the reasons why. But yeah, I like to listen to that. And that was good to hear Tommy, wasn't it? Because I think I've only ever seen him give one interview previously, quite early in his Arsenal career. But yeah, no, he speaks good English, yeah. And he's a nice guy, I look of it. Brilliant. It's great to see. Yeah, I agree. Greg says, yeah, take Havertz off and put my grandma on. I'm sure your grandma's very good, Greg. I'm sure she is. Terry says, it done him some good. It got him a move away from Spurs. Well, yeah, I suppose that's probably what it did do him. Yeah, maybe it got him noticed, didn't it? I suppose. So yeah, maybe some good come out of it for him, just not on that particular day because they lost the game. Didn't it get goal in a month or something, didn't it, as well, which was quite hilarious when you think about it. Anyway, good old Eric Lamela back at the Emirates where he scored that goal. And of course, it was at the Emirates where he scored it, didn't he? But he's not going to score tonight, I'm sure. Anyway, his cross comes in, headed away by William Saliba. But Sevilla actually, they've attacked more in the second half already than they had in the whole of the first half put together. So they put another cross into the box. It's going to go all the way across. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. So we're just about to get Greg's grandma's coming on. She's just warming up. And it looks like it's going to be Kai Havertz going off. And we'll see if she can have a bigger impact on this game than Kai Havertz has done, which won't be that difficult, let's be honest. Anyway, the goal kick from David Raya goes long. And Sevilla actually win the ball again. They've maybe started the second half slightly better than they did in the first half, actually. But anyway, Arsenal have got a throw over on that far side. Sevilla are now attacking the end where their fans are as well, which I do like. I think it does give your team a slight advantage when that's the case. Especially when you're away from home, you've got your fans at one end of the ground and, your team's attacking. I don't think it's you don't get that so much at Newcastle because the away fans are so high up. But certainly when they're right behind the goal, I do think it's an advantage for the team attacking that end. the half that you're taking it in. It's nice if it's a second half as well, isn't it? Anyway, Zinchenko now on the ball. Looks like he's got his slippers on, actually. But anyway, he plays the ball up this near side to Martinelli. Martinelli again skips past the fullback too easily, puts a cross in all the way across the goal. Again, there's nobody there. Kai Havertz not quite able to get on the end of that, and wasn't quite able to put it in. Comedy Schooner says, drag Charlie George out of doing the stadium tours and put him on the head of Havertz. Yeah, maybe he might be the next up to come on as well. Gunnar Dan says, come on, Grandma. Indeed, yeah. Grandma's going to score tonight. I can feel it. Got this good feeling about. I think she's got her slippers on as well, actually. It looks like it looks like Zinchenko's got slippers on, and I think that Greg's grandma's going to be coming on in her slippers in a minute as well. And I'm sure she is going to do well. Declan Rice wins that header. But again, Sevilla cleared it away. And I say they play much better in the second half. I kind of expected that they would, just because they probably weren't going to be as bad again, were they? But they're still lacking any quality in that final third, which is not surprising when Eric Lamela is probably their best player. And that probably sums up their issues, doesn't it, really? Anyway, Arsenal now in possession. Ben White into Jorginho. Arsenal really managed to string too many decent attacks together in the second half. We played 53 minutes. It's still Arsenal 1, Sevilla 0, and Arsenal closing in on qualification for the knockout stage. We've still got 2 games to play, of course, against PSV away and, of course, at home to Lons, who beat us, didn't they, in the away game? So we need a little bit of revenge on them. We don't have a good record at home against Lons either, do we? Certainly not in the Champions League. We've never beaten them in the Champions League, have we, Lons? All the 5 previous times we've played them. Anyway, we are coming forward again with Martinelli. He has been the best player on the pitch by an absolute mile tonight, hasn't he, Martinelli? He's had 2 defenders around him quite often, but he's made that Sanchez Dwanley look an absolute mug. He's got the ball again, Martinelli. This defender's going to have nightmares, isn't he, about Martinelli. Anyway, Arsenal did manage to keep possession. It is now with William Saliba inside at the centre circle. Ben White finds Kai Havertz. How long has Kai Havertz got left on the pitch? We shall see. Arsenal try to play 1-2 on that far, so it looks as though Ben White was fouled. Anyway, Kai Havertz now is going to score as he tries a shot. Oh, it wasn't that far away either. Wow. Kai Havertz there. That would have been a great goal, actually. Cutting in from that far side onto his left foot and fired it. Just, that is so close, actually. I thought it was just going to curl in. He did show glimpses there of the quality that he's got. That's a great effort, actually. That was so close. That would have been a fantastic goal. Whatever we think of Kai Havertz, whatever we think of how he's been playing, that would have been a fantastic goal. And, yeah, maybe that's would have been a confidence booster that he's needed. But anyway, it went wide. But that's probably his best moment in an Arsenal shirt so far, actually, apart from scoring that penalty, of course, against Bournemouth. Anyway, it's a free kick now to Sevilla. William Saliba gave away that one a little bit too close there to the forward. And it's a free kick, very central for Sevilla. It's midway inside the Arsenal half. So it's too far out for a shot unless they bring Roberto Carlos on. But they're not going to do that. So it's just going to be chipped into the box, you would imagine. And Arsenal have to defend this. The Sevilla fans over in that far side are enjoying themselves. They chip into the box there. Header comes in, but it's actually headed away by Gabriel, I think it was. And that attack comes to nothing. Terry says, give Havertz some credit. Surely you didn't expect that to go in. Well, I didn't expect it to go in, but it kind of looked like it might be going in. And it would have been a cracking goal, Terry. Come on. I know what you think about him, but it would have been a great goal. And it would have been a great moment for him at the Emirates as well. And he's probably not going to get too many, is he? So we'll give him one if it so happens to be a goal in this game or in any game. Because that's all we want to see. That we want to see him succeed. It's looking very unlikely now, isn't it? But that goal could have made the difference to his Arsenal career, couldn't it? Something like that going in. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be on that occasion. And Arsenal still in possession, though, coming forward. Jorginho finds Ben White over on the far side. He's got Saka ahead of him. Finds Saka. Jorginho now. Arsenal starting to find their rhythm again in this second half. Kai Havertz has done well there. It's a good turn, actually, by Kai Havertz, but he needs a bit of support. He's done well, but the pass was poor. That wasn't necessarily just his fault. Anyway, Arsenal tried to win the ball back high out of the pitch. And Sevilla have just kept possession. Now it goes back to goalkeeper Dimitriov, who's just going to play it an easy ball just outside the penalty area. Sevilla just knocking the ball around inside their own half. And that's a long ball played forward, but Zinchenko's going to cut that out. You can see Sevilla's problem. They're lacking quality, aren't they, going forward here? Declan Rice now in possession on this near side for Arsenal. Well, he's going to go off on one of his little runs that he likes to do, but he didn't. He just played it back instead to Gabriel. We've played 56 minutes. Arsenal 1, Sevilla 0. Arsenal heading for a third Champions League victory in 4 games in the group. Just that Lens defeat against us so far. Anyway, Kai Havertz has done well again. He's had a good 5 minutes, Kai Havertz. Actually, hang on a minute. We've just seen this bit, haven't we? Oh, that's better. Yeah, we just froze and replayed the same bit we just watched before. That's no good, is it? And we're back up. We're 58.5 minutes now, so we're back on track where we were. Terry says, don't get me wrong, I do want Havertz to succeed, but just not at Arsenal. We don't want him to succeed somewhere else, yeah, because imagine if he goes to Man City or Tottenham and succeeds. Don't want that to be. I'd rather he succeeded at Arsenal. Anyway, Arsenal are now in possession with Declan Rice, and he is succeeding at Arsenal, and it's been great to see. He is, I say obviously the Newcastle game on Saturday is the first time I've seen him live since he's joined us, and what an absolute pleasure it was. The guy is an absolute beast on that pitch. He is easily the best midfield player we've had since Patrick Vieira. Is he as good as Patrick Vieira? Not yet. He's got a lot more to prove, but he's the best midfielder we've had since Patrick Vieira. He's just an absolute Rolls Royce in there. Fantastic player. And I hate to think where we'd be without him, actually, because he holds that midfield together almost on his own. He does need a bit more support, and he certainly needs a centre forward that he can pass to. Anyway, he's got the ball now, Declan, in a little bit of space. He's more playing in the Granit Xhaka role on his left, a left 6, I suppose it's called. I don't like all these positions. He's just a left-sided and a centre of 3 midfielders, isn't he? Which was a position that Granit Xhaka played well. Anyway, Martinelli now on this near side again. Martinelli, can he get across? He pulls it back to Declan Rice inside the box, lays it off to Trossard, tried to chip the keeper, but it's gone wide. And when Arsenal have clicked in that final third, we've looked good. Just that final touch, the final shot hasn't always come off for us, has it? But anyway, Terry says he'd be lucky to do well at Herne Bay under-10s. Well, Herne Bay under-10s are a very good side, Terry. So, you know, that's no disgrace not to do well there, because they're a very good team, aren't they? So he'd probably get a few minutes, wouldn't he, at the end of a game when they're 6-0 up. Anyway, Sevilla have just played the ball straight out of play. It was Sal, Djibril Sal, the Swiss international. Talking to Granit Xhaka, he plays in alongside Granit Xhaka in the Swiss midfield, doesn't he? Djibril Sal. We've seen him play there a few times for Switzerland. Anyway, Arsenal just lost the ball now. And a bit of a scrappy period of play that was there for a couple of minutes. Both teams giving the ball away quite cheaply in midfield. And it is Seville now looking to come forward. It is only 1-0. And a 1-0 lead, as we've seen so many times, isn't always the most comfortable lead. That cross comes in, goes all the way to the far post. There's no Seville player there to pop it in the net, but Sanchez is now coming forward on this near side. He's had a torrid time defensively. Can he do something going forward? Sevilla do keep the ball, but we do force them back. And we're looking to try to get an equaliser here, which would be totally against the run of play for the game as a whole. But they have played better in the second half. And this dink ball now to this near side. Good header that was there from Zinchenko. Gets it back. Zinchenko is running himself into the corner. And that's a poor ball by Gabriel, actually puts Arsenal back under pressure again. But this is much better from Seville, you have to say. This is the longest spell of pressure they've had in Arsenal's half all game. And they've been much better in the second half, as they had to be. We said, you know, even them finishing third in the group to get a Europa League spot is certainly not in their hands if they lose this game. So they'll certainly want to try and get something here if they can. But to do that, they are going to have to take a few more risks going forward. And they've done that since half-time. They've not really created anything yet. And David Raya still had a save to make. But at least they are giving it more of a go in the second half. And that may well help us get that second goal later with a few gaps appearing. That's a good crossfield ball, actually. That was from Juan Jordan there. Great pass from him. And Sevilla now just knocking the ball around. This is good play from Sevilla, actually. They're not going forward particularly, but they're passing the ball nicely. And this must be the longest spell of possession they've had in our half. They are still in our half just. It goes back into the centre circle now. But Sevilla are still in possession. Coming forward over on that far side. That's back again. It's another crossfield ball, this time to the near side, but it's gone out of play. And that ends that particular spell of pressure from Sevilla. They're going to be making a substitution now. It is going to be Ivan Rakitic coming on, the Croatian. Oh, actually, it isn't. It's going to be... Oh, we'll go through that anyway. Comedy Schooler says, I went to the London away game in 99. We hired a car and had to promise we weren't taking it abroad, then dropped it back and forgot about the big H sticker on the windscreen. Oh, Arsenal have scored, have we? Saka has just scored. It is 2-0. That seals it. Saka's first goal for a while. We'll come back to that comment in a minute. Saka has scored. It is 2-0. It looked like a good finish across the keeper as well. I didn't see the goal. I was reading that comment out, so let's wait for the replay. Sevilla, we're just getting back into the game, it seemed. They're just going to make some substitutions as well, but it is... And unsurprisingly, it was Martinelli at the heart of it. Oh, he's almost offside, Saka. Martinelli with the ball through. Saka was just about onside, down that far side, and then cutting. That's a lovely finish. That's a lovely goal, actually. Cut inside the defender, pops it across him into that far corner. What a great goal. That is one of Saka's best of the season, that. It's his 6th goal as well, so he's now become joint top scorer with Trossard. So 1 goal and 1 assist for Saka tonight. Well, I still think Martinelli's probably going to get player of the match. That's a nice cut back inside and the finish, what he's good at. That's Bukayo Saka at his very, very best. Mark C says, broke away on his own. Nice simple pass, Mark. It was, yeah, from a throw-in in our own half. See, again, the 2 goals tonight have been quick passes, haven't they? And that's what's made the difference. That's how we've got the goals. Too much, certainly in the last couple of games, has been sideways. It is Rakitic has come on for Jibril So in midfield for Sevilla. They've made another change as well, and it is Soumare on loan from Leicester, and he's replaced Juan Jordan. So it is now 2-0. Arsenal in control of this game. Surely that's a 3 points. So we'll go at this comment. Cornish Goodness says, I went to the London away game in 99. Oh, you're back in the car. Forgot about the big H sticker on the windscreen, hovercraft. Yeah, I went to that game. We went with the Arsenal Travel Club, actually, to that particular one. That was at the 1-1 draw, wasn't it, when Overmars scored? And then Martin Keown scored no goal, didn't he, in the last minute? Oh, this Friday yellow card. It's actually Soumare who just come on. His first involvement is to get a yellow card for Sevilla. After all them fouls earlier on, the referee didn't get a yellow card out. He's now just booked him for his first foul. Oh, it was quite a nasty one, actually. He did slide in there on Declan Rice. Yeah, that is probably a yellow card. So you see, well done, referee. He let fouls go. Not all fouls are yellow cards. He's let other fouls go without yellow cards. And that one there was a yellow card. And he's given it. So well done, referee. This referee's good. I like him. I don't know where he's from, but he's a good referee. And if the referees in the Premier League were like this, we wouldn't have too much to complain about, would we? Because he's been brilliant, actually. And Mark C says, one of my big criticisms is we often overpass sideways instead of getting it forward. Exactly, yeah, that is the biggest criticism that I've got of this team. And tonight, the 2 goals have come from direct forward passing. And we come forward again, across into the box. Is he going to be 3-0? No, it isn't. It's still Zinchenko. Oh, that's a good save. Comes out to Martinelli, comes back again to Zinchenko. And Arsenal now looking in complete control of this game. But yeah, you're right. That's my biggest frustration, is when we constantly pass sideways, backwards, sideways. When we get the ball forward incisively, quickly, it leads to chances at goal and opportunities. And that's what's happened tonight. The 2 goals, both have come from incisive forward passes and forward movement, and that's what we need to do more. If we did that more, 1, it'd be better to watch, and 2, we'd score a lot more goals. Anyway, we're in possession now. Gabriel inside the centre circle, dinks a ball. In fact, the referee stopped play because there's an injury to Samare, which may well be on the back of that yellow card he got earlier, that tackle. He may well have injured himself. So it's kind of some sort of karma there on the Leicester City low knee, because he could easily have injured Declan Rice, couldn't he? Anyway, they're just showing this chance there for Zinchenko on the volley. It was a decent hit, good save by the goalkeeper. Good technique that from Zinchenko, but it was straight at the keeper. Comfortable save in the end, but he had to get there, didn't he? The scary-looking Serbian. And Samare is getting some treatment now. He's only been on 5 minutes. He's got a yellow card, and now he might have to go off again. But it's definitely for that tackle there. He's injured himself, and he got a yellow card. That's quite a nasty tackle on Declan Rice. You can't tackle Declan. You're not allowed, in case you injure him. You're not allowed to injure Declan Rice, because that would be massive, massive problem. Anyway, Samare is back on his feet again, although he is limping still quite heavily. Whether or not he's going to be able to continue or not, we'll have to see. That would be a quick substitution, wouldn't it? A quick appearance if he has to go off. But it's his own fault. He shouldn't go flying into tackles like that, should he, really? Mark C says there, we've got a lot of speed within the team, but we don't use it often enough. We don't use it in the right way. No, you're right. We don't. We don't get in behind defences enough. We've got pace on both wings. And in Trossard, we've got pace through the middle tonight. And we struggle sometimes, don't we, to really get in behind teams. So, yeah, I agree. We don't use it in the right way and often enough, which is frustrating. You know, it is frustrating. And that's the one thing that I find I don't enjoy about watching this team sometimes, is that reason. Anyway, that's long ball over the top, looking for the runner. Declan Rice, can he keep this in? No, he can't. It's a good idea from Zinchenko there to try and get Declan Rice in behind. And as has been the case pretty much since he walked through the door, Declan Rice, he is smiling again. He's not stopped smiling since he's joined Arsenal. And that's another reason why, you know, I've developed a real man crush on Declan Rice. He's a fantastic footballer, and that's the main reason for it. But he's just so happy to be at Arsenal, isn't he? He's smiling all the time. He gets it, doesn't he? And to me, he should be the captain of this team, and it's almost criminal that he isn't, actually. You know, but anyway, this is a perfect opportunity, isn't it, with Odegaard injured, to give him the armband, because he certainly is the natural leader of this team on the pitch in the way that he plays, and also off the pitch the way he conducts himself. And his interviews and everything else, he's just fantastic. You know, did somebody say that? I don't know where I saw it now. Somebody said about, might have been before this game, no one mentions his price tag because of how well he's playing. It's almost like his price tag doesn't matter. And not many players can do that when they cost 100 million. But Declan Rice has. He's absolutely justified the price tag already, and he's only played 15, 16 games for Arsenal. What the future is going to bring for him, I just can't wait to see it. I just think we just need to build just a little bit more around him. That's what we need. Communist Gunnar says inevitably the next long-term Arsenal captain, Rice. It'll be the second Arsenal Rice, won't it, who's been captain after Pat Rice, of course. He was Arsenal captain for a long time, wasn't he? Lifted the FA Cup in 1979, and I'm sure if Declan Rice gets to be captain, he will be lifting some trophies as well. There's going to be another yellow card. The referee now is starting to get the cards out. That is for Janelu. He's a foul on Martinelli. It's the closest he's got to him all night, actually. It was a late challenge there. The ball had already gone out of play. And it was a yellow card for the Spanish defender who's been given the absolute runaround by Martinelli all night. And he just shakes his hand there as Martinelli's back up on his feet again. And that's the second yellow card. Now the referee's booked one. He's going to start booking a few more, isn't he? Terry says there, let's be honest, if we didn't have Rice, we'd be in deep trouble. Samare's gone down again, and I don't think he's going to last much longer. His 5-minute cameo. I don't know if he was told to go on and kick Declan Rice, but if he did, it's come back to haunt him now because he's got himself injured, and it looks like he's going to have to go off. But no, you're right. Without Declan Rice in there, we would be in trouble, especially with Thomas Partey out. But what Declan Rice has shown me is Thomas Partey is a very good player. There's no question about that. He's a very, very good player. But I don't think he's been anywhere near as good for us as everybody expected him to be. His injuries haven't helped, obviously. But then, suddenly we've got Declan Rice come in, and Declan Rice straight away from day one, bang, been on it. And it's like, I don't care if Partey leaves now. I'm not bothered, because Declan Rice is a massive, massive upgrade. And I don't think too many of us would have been expecting it. Anyway, Samare's going off after that brief appearance. He got himself a yellow card for a really stupid foul, and he's got injured in this process. And it is Mariano Diaz. Mariano Diaz is coming on now to replace him. So he's gone on and come off within 5 minutes, and he's from the Dominican Republic. The substitute there, who's substituted. The substitute, Mark C says the ref is a PE teacher from Romania. Is he? Well, I like him, and he's been brilliant. It's one of the best refereeing performances I've seen in an Arsenal game this season. I know that isn't a very high bar, let's be honest, with the Premier League. Anyway, suddenly Sevilla in behind. Are they going to pull a goal back? A pull back across the box. David Raya didn't get there, but Arsenal managed to scramble it clear. And that's the nearest Sevilla come to a goal in this game. And it was mainly from Arsenal mistake, really. At the back, David Raya didn't really get there. And when the ball came back across the goal, Arsenal managed to scramble it clear. And the clean sheet remains for the time being. But it's a throw to Sevilla on the far side. We've got, 16, 17 minutes to play. Was it the actual substitute there, Mariano, who just come on? He was onside, got in behind Saliba, who misjudged that completely. A rare mistake from him. And when he pulled the ball back, Ben White was across the cover. But no, I like this referee. I do like this referee. He's been really good. And maybe we need more PE teachers from Romania refereeing in the Premier League, maybe. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So I'm sure there's plenty of Romanians in this country that can probably do the job. I'm sure there is. Anyway, Declan Rice now on the turn, running at this Sevilla defence. He's going to go all the way, is he? No, he didn't, because he passed it. Mark C says, is it good news for us that PSV are beating Lons? I'm not sure if it is or not. I can't decide. I can't decide if it's good news for us or not. If we win our games, it doesn't matter, let's be honest. And we've got to play both of those two, of course, in our last two games. I suppose it is really, yeah, because I think Lons are a better team than PSG, personally. So it probably is a good result for us. Anyway, Martinelli again goes past the defender, and he's won a corner, has he? No, he hasn't. It's a goal kick. That's Sanchez. Of course, he's going to have to be careful now, having just been booked. He cannot commit another foul. That was in the area anyway. And Martinelli just walks past him as though he's not there, as he's done all night. Martinelli's best game of the season, I think, tonight. He's been really dangerous. He has been a constant threat down that left-hand side. And he deserves a goal, doesn't he? But he's not going to get one. He's not going to get a corner there. They're making two more substitutions now. Pedrosa's going off, and who's coming on for them? Nianzou, Tanguy Nianzou's coming on for them. He's French, and the other substitution that they're making is Kike Salas is going off, and Lucas Ocampos is coming on. So that's the two changes there for Sevilla. Another two for them. They've made all their five now, I think, haven't they? Well, they've certainly had their three sections of substitutions, haven't they? Anyway, the ball's now back with the goalkeeper for Sevilla. Goes long into the Arsenal half. Zinchenko wins that header. Then Martinelli wins a second header. Then Declan Rice tries to flick it on towards Trossard, but Sevilla pick it up. They've now got a little bit of space on this near side, actually. And Declan Rice charges back to do his defensive job. The guy is he's incredible, absolutely incredible. And then Zinchenko has actually done well since he's come on. I'm not normally his biggest fan, but he's played well since he's come on in the second half. Martinelli now was just caught there, was he? By Ocampos, who's just come on, and he gets a yellow card. His first involvement, Ocampos. That's two subs have come on for Sevilla and got booked with their first foul. And all those other players that committed 6 or 7 fouls in the first half didn't get booked. I mean, he was a bit late there, and he did stand on Martinelli's foot. I mean, is that a yellow card? I'm not sure, really. When you think of some of the earlier fouls, it wasn't. But anyway, I say we've been praising this referee, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for that one. and it's a yellow card for the other substitute, Ocampos, who's just come on. So Lucas Ocampos, the Argentinian. I suppose it's because it's Argentina against Brazil there, wasn't it? Maybe there was a little bit of that in that particular challenge. Anyway, it's a free kick now to Arsenal on this near side. It's going to be Zinchenko to take it. It's the best he's played for a while, actually, since he's come on. Let's be honest, Sevilla aren't that great a side, but even so, good for confidence, this, isn't it, for certain players who maybe were lacking a little bit. Anyway, Zinchenko is going to take this free kick from this near side. What's the delivery like? Can we get a third goal? The ball comes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but the goalkeeper's going to just come and get that. Not a great free kick from Zinchenko, that actually, probably because I just said how well he'd been playing. So that's my fault. I do apologise for that. Anyway, Sevilla now in possession over on the far side. We've got, 30 minutes of normal time to play. There'll be a bit more stoppage time in the second half due to the substitutions. There's been a couple of injuries, hasn't there? Obviously, to Sumare mainly was the main one. So, yeah, I'll be expecting maybe 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time. And we've still got 12 of normal time. Plenty of time for Arsenal to get a third goal just to really put the seal on this good performance tonight in the Champions League. And it'll be 9 points out of 12. It was Rakitic there with a foul. And he's now being spoken to by the referee, but he's not going to get a yellow card, I don't think. Anyway, Arsenal take a free kick. Ben White over on that far side. Now it's with Kai Havertz. Will it be Kai Havertz to get the third goal? That would be a big story, wouldn't it, in this game tonight? He's actually played all right. He hasn't been brilliant, but he hasn't been totally terrible. He's had some bad moments, obviously. There was that header at the beginning and one or two other things, but he nearly scored a great goal, didn't he, Kai Havertz, tonight? And that would have been a fantastic moment, wouldn't it? Anyway, Sevilla have lost the ball in midfield. Again, it was Declan Rice in there. He seems to be everywhere, doesn't he? There's a ball dinked over the top, looking for Saka in behind. The flag stays down. Saka's in the box, pulls it back towards Trossard, who maybe needed to shoot first time. But he didn't. And Sevilla managed to scrape it away. And now they're coming forward themselves. That's a decent ball if it can be kept in on this near side, but it can't. It was Ocampos there, the substitute, trying to scamper forward. Now Arsenal make another couple of changes here. It's going to be Fabio Vieira and Reece Nelson to come on for these last 10 minutes or so. Let's see what impact these two can have. They've both had their moments for Arsenal, haven't they? But maybe not played enough games. It's Trossard going off. Trossard scored a great goal tonight, the first goal. And he played well against Trossard, didn't he? He never seems to get the minutes he deserves or the credit he deserves. I think he's a very, very good player. Anyway, Vieira's coming on for Trossard. And who is going to be going off? It's Martinelli going off. Player of the match, man of the match by an absolute mile tonight. Gabriel Martinelli. Brilliant, brilliant performance from him. And it's Reece Nelson who replaces him probably on his left-hand side. Or he might go over to the right and Saka on the left. We'll see. But yeah, brilliant performance that was from Gabriel Martinelli tonight. He didn't get himself a goal or an assist, but he was head and shoulders the best player on the pitch, especially in the first half. The second half, he was a bit quieter, but yeah, great game from him. And I'm sure that the defender Sanchez for Sevilla will be pleased that Martinelli's gone off. Anyway, Saka just gone down with an injury, which is a bit worrying. He's holding his ankle. Was he caught there? Didn't look like there was anyone near him. Let's have a look at that again. I don't know if maybe someone stamped on him by mistake as they ran past. I'm not really sure. It didn't seem as though he even had the ball. And he's gone down. And that's the same ankle he's had problems with before, isn't it? He looks in a lot of pain, actually, Bukayo Saka. Was it the way he landed here? Yeah, it was. It was the way he landed. He was going up for a header with the substitute in Ngonzu there. And just like he's landed awkwardly on his ankle, this is not good news for Arsenal or Bukayo Saka. He looks in a very, very lot of pain. So this isn't a good sign, is it, at all? Terry gives Martinelli a round of applause there. Yeah, he was brilliant tonight, wasn't he, Martinelli? So I think that's his best. I think that's his best performance of the season, actually. And Saka is limping away here. Is he going to be able to continue? It wasn't a tackle on him. It was obviously just the way he landed. He went up for a header with the Sevilla substitute there, and he's limping quite badly. He's trying to run it off. I'm not sure he's going to be able to. Is it even worth taking the risk with him? Is it even worth taking the risk with him? I would say no. I would say take him off and bring on, I don't know, who's on the bench that could come on. Maybe bring on Cozy Adubri. Why not bring him on for the last 8 minutes? Give him a run and take Saka off and rest him, because, I mean, it's probably not a serious injury. Let's hope not, but it's not worth risking him, is it? It's not worth. He's come back on again, Saka. What does he have to do to actually go off in a game? It's ridiculous, isn't it? The game's won. He scored a great goal. He's got an assist. You know, take him off. We don't need to risk him, do we? He's still not moving very comfortably. Anyway, the ball's just gone through there to David Raya, who's not had a save to make in this game. And that might be the second game in a row he's not had a save to make. Anyway, Zinchenko got a yellow card in all of that. I'm not quite sure what he did, but he's got a yellow card. Man United have gone 3-2 up. A penalty from Bruno Fernandes there. Terry says Saka nearly should have gone off together. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah. Gunnar Dan says Man United just scored a penalty. Copenhagen 3-2. Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, 3-2 to Manchester United. So they may sneak through, mightn't they? After all. Anyway, Martin Odegaard's up there in the stand watching the game, looking a little bit sorry for himself with his injury that he's picked up. Is that his dad with him, do you think? He looks a bit like him, didn't he? Is that his dad, do you think, sitting next to him there? Quite potentially was. Anyway, Saka's gone down again. Just take him off. Just take him off. We don't need to do this, do we? Mark C says, Rich, you need to write Mikel a memo. I'm constantly writing him memos. He never seems to listen to them. Anyway, just get Saka off now. There's a yellow card for Jorginho. I'm not quite sure what was it for Saka. I don't know who's got booked there. He sort of waved it in the direction of Saka and Jorginho. I think it's probably Jorginho did kind of speak to the referee, and maybe the referee didn't like that. And I think it was Jorginho that actually got booked, and not Saka. And I think Saka is going to go off now. And if he doesn't, he should do. He's just received some treatment, so he's had to go off over that far side again. Oh, he is going off. He is going off, Saka. That's the right thing, isn't it? It's the right thing to do. We don't need him on the pitch anymore. He's played his part. A big part he's played in this game, a goal and an assist. It's going to be Jacob Kiwior's coming on. So not going to be using one of the youngsters. Amari Cozy Adubri would have been my choice to have come on for these final few minutes. But no, he's gone defensive again, brought an extra defender on. He just does my head in. That's this manager, honestly. He really does. Mark C says about giving Saka a bloody rest. Well, yeah, he needs to give him a rest, yeah. And he has took him off, although not intentionally. He's took him off only simply because he's just got an injury. That's the only reason he's took him off. He hasn't done it to give him a rest. He'd have kept him on without that. In fact, he tried to keep him on anyway, even when he was limping about. Anyway, Arsenal got a free kick. Saka's just having a walk around the pitch. Well, a limp around the pitch. There's probably a doubt about him for Saturday now, isn't there? You would imagine. But anyway, let's hope. He normally bounces back from injuries quite quickly, doesn't he? Bukayo Saka. He's not normally out for long. It's even when he had to miss that game. Was it the Man City game he missed? He missed one of them recent games, didn't he? And then he was back next game. So he's never out for long, is he? He's made of firm stuff, isn't he? There's no doubt about that. Mark C says, as soon as we got a second goal, he should have taken him off. Yeah, exactly. That's what I would have done. I'd have took him and Martinelli off. At that point, you're right. There was no point keeping them on, really, was there? Terry says, Arteta's making sure Saka has a proper injury. None of this 1 or 2 games. He wants the rest of the season injury. Well, I'm sure he doesn't, because without Saka, this team would be nowhere near as good. But he needs to rest him. I know Declan Rice has got a booking for some reason. Not quite sure what Declan Rice got booked for, but suddenly the referee's booking everybody. From booking nobody, he's booking everybody now. After we were saying how good he was and how we'd let things go and how he seemed to understand the game, suddenly now he's booking everybody. But anyway, Saka is limping around the pitch. Hopefully he'll be all right for Saturday. And it is Sevilla coming forward now, looking for a goal back. You feel it'll only be a consolation now. Well, that was a loose pass there from Jorginho, wasn't it? Gifted possession back. to Sevilla. But yeah, there's only 3 minutes of normal time left. I said it'd be a bit more of a chunk of stoppage time in this half, won't there, following all the substitutions and whatever. But it's been a decent Arsenal performance, hasn't it? Overall, we've dominated the possession. We've scored 2 really, really good goals, and we fully deserved the victory. Yes, Sevilla aren't very good, really, are they? They're not a great side, but they are the Europa League winners, so they know what it takes to win in Europe. And the fact that we've now beaten them home and away is a good sign, isn't it? But I suppose what we have to remember is they are a Europa League opposition, really, aren't they? They're a Europa League level team. So beating them home and away doesn't mean we're going to go on and win the Champions League or anything like that. What it does mean is, though, it's 2 very good victories in the group, and it puts us now in a massively strong position, and we should now qualify. I mean, we've got 9 points with 2 games to play. It always used to be like 10 points used to be the marker, didn't it? Generally, if you got 10 points, you're through. We've got 9 with 2 games to play, so I'd say we're pretty much through. So we have a chance to get a goal back. Good defensive header from Gabriel, it was. And I say Sevilla threatened a little bit more in the second half, haven't they, to be fair to them, but we have been the much better team pretty much all the way through, and fully deserving of the 3 points tonight. And our little mini bad run of 2 defeats in a row. They were both, of course, away from home. We haven't lost at home this season, but we haven't lost at home since the Brighton game back in, was that in May, wasn't it? Beginning of May, when we lost at home to Brighton. I think we only lost 2 Premier League games at home last season, didn't we? Which was to Brighton and to Manchester City. And we haven't lost any this season. So it's become a fortress, hasn't it? We had a few problems at home in the early years under Mikel Arteta, and now we do seem to be, it is a home advantage now, isn't it? Certainly, and that's always a positive. You always have to win your home games, don't you? And anything you pick up away then becomes an extra bonus, doesn't it? If you can't win your home games, then you're really in trouble, aren't you? Anyway, Arsenal are looking very, very comfortable for a home win tonight. We're into the last minute of the 90. The ground is becoming empty. And Mohamed El-Neni's coming on, so he's not going to bring any of them youngsters on. This is my problem. This is not just my one problem with Mikel Arteta. It's one of the other problems that I've got with him, is that he doesn't give the young players a chance, does he? Why didn't he bring on Amir Doubry tonight? Why didn't he do that? Instead, it's Mohamed El-Neni's coming on. Jorginho's going off. Jorginho didn't do bad tonight, did he? I thought he had a reasonably good game. I think European Champions League suits him a little bit better than the Premier League. The pace of it's maybe better suited to him. He had a decent enough game, didn't he? Mark C says there, we're at home to Burnley on Saturday. Do you think Arteta should leave Saka out? Well, I think it's going to depend on his injury, isn't he? I mean, Saka's one of them players where if he's fit, he plays. So I think if he's fit, he will play, actually. Would I leave him out? Is there an international break after the Burnley game? I think there is, isn't there? So I'd maybe play him if he's fit, and then he's got an international break, hasn't he? So we'll see. But I'd expect him to play unless he's injured. So I don't think the opposition matters. I think he'll play if he's fit to play. He'll play. Terry says one of many Arteta's faults. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. It's a frustrating one, isn't it? Because he's got 2 youngsters on the bench tonight. Also, Charles Sago as well, Sago Jr., who did play in that game against Brentford, didn't he? He didn't have a great game, but you can't just give him one game and never pick him again. He's had an opportunity tonight. This game, Sevilla have never looked like getting back in this game. What an opportunity it would have been for 1 or 2 of these young players to have come on and got some minutes at the Emirates in the Champions League. That would have been fantastic, wouldn't it? So I'm a little bit disappointed that he hasn't done that, and he's gone with Kirill and El-Neni. I just think that's, what you're going to learn from bringing El-Neni on in a game like this? Nothing. We know what El-Neni can do, which is very little. So I don't know. I'm a bit disappointed that he's gone down that route, actually. But anyway, never mind. And Sevilla are coming forward now down this near side. There's going to be 6 minutes, actually, of stoppage time. And we've played nearly a minute and a half of that. Ghana Dan says, then we've been scoring a lot of goals in the 90-plus minute. Let's see if we can get one here. Yeah, we've scored a few in the sort of added time, haven't we? Anyway, Declan Rice is still full of running as always. Brings the ball forward, plays up that far side to Fabio Vieira. We've got plenty of players forward here. He dinks the ball into the box. It's a great run from Kai Havertz, but his first touch let him down a little bit. The ball's run away from him, and Sevilla will get it clear. But Havertz is going to play another 90 minutes. He seems to get 90 minutes every game, doesn't he? Which I say, he has less impact in games for us than, for example, Mesut Ozil did when he played under Mikel Arteta in the early point. And he gets a full 90 minutes. And Mesut Ozil was cooked off, you know, the first time he didn't run after every single ball. Kai Havertz isn't doing enough to get 90 minutes every week. This is what makes no sense to me as a Mikel Arteta player. It makes no sense. I don't get it. I don't believe there's not more at play here. Anyway, we're halfway through the 6 minutes of stoppage time, and we've got a throw on this near side, which Jacob Kiwior is going to take the big pole. And Arsenal won a free kick, have they? Right, in fact, it's a free kick to Sevilla on this near side. It's just now whether or not Arsenal can get a third goal. But Sevilla coming forward themselves now on this near side, maybe looking to try and get a goal back of their own, as they did in the away leg, but they haven't managed to there. Well, in fact, they won a corner, though. Won a corner. This was how they did score over there, of course. But it would only be a consolation now with 2.5 minutes of stoppage time left. It's going to be too late. It's going to be Rakitic to take this corner, the Croatian. Mark C says there, it's because he focuses on Havertz's possession and passing stats. Well, yeah, maybe he does, but he needs to watch what impact he's having on the game, which is very, very little. Very, very little. And you can't tell me his passing and possession stats are better than Mesut Ozil's were at the time. I don't think they were. Anyway, the referee has now stopped the game. I'm not quite sure why. He's having a word with Zinchenko, who's already been booked. Is it a VAR? Is it a VAR check? Because the referee seems to be speaking to somebody through the headset. Not sure what the issue is, but it's going to lead to a little bit more. Is it a potential penalty they're checking? Or was it a handball on the edge of the penalty area from Fabio Vieira? I think he's outside the box anyway. It may have been a handball. I think he was outside the box anyway. But the check's over. And that's the first bit of VAR nonsense we've had today. And it's took until the 95th minute. Anyway, Sevilla are coming forward now. This game's already done. Arsenal have relaxed a little bit, you have to say. And we just want to try and keep a clean sheet, really, don't we? And there's a foul there over on that far side on Zinchenko. It's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Terry says, Havertz and Eddie can only be the love child of Arteta. Otherwise, why would Arteta constantly pick them? If it is just based on stats, that might be why. But, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I'd like to have seen some of the youngsters get an opportunity tonight. But they haven't. So there you go. Anyway, it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. We're into the last 30 seconds. There'll be a little bit more stoppage time now, won't there? Because there was just that little VAR check a moment ago. And David Raya is going to kick this ball long, deep into the Sevilla half. It's won by the Spanish team trying to come forward. But guess who's there? I'll let you guess who just won that ball in midfield. It wasn't Kai Havertz. Anyway, Arsenal now are coming forward down this near side. Kiwior steaming forward. And then it's been won back, though, by Sevilla. We've played the 6 minutes now. It's just whatever the ref's going to add on. Mark C says, Copenhagen score an equaliser, do they? Wow. Man United are terrible this season, aren't they? They really are bad. Anyway, on the overlap now, cross comes in. Can Arsenal keep this clean sheet? Ball comes to the edge of the box. Oh, this is nice play. A nice shot comes in. Good save from Raya. The first save he's had to make for about 2 games. And he makes it well from Mariana there, the substitute. That's their first shot on target. It was a good effort, actually. He looked like he was going to hit it earlier than what he did. He took an extra couple of touches. It was a good shot. Comfortable save from Raya. And that'd be good for him because he hasn't had to make too many saves, has he? He's letting a few goals for Arsenal without having to make that many saves, which is a bit strange. Anyway, the full-time whistle's gone. Arsenal have won 2-0 tonight. Fully deserved. against a very average Sevilla side, Europa League opposition. But we've got to beat them, and we did. Comfortable victory in the end. We could have maybe scored 1 or 2 more goals, but we got the job done. A goal in each half. It was Trossard with the first one midway through that first half. A lovely move. It was actually Ben White's ball to Saka. He pulled it across the goal, and it was well finished off by Trossard. Saka got the second one himself midway through the second half. It was a nice ball, counter-attack from Arsenal. Martinelli played the ball through. Saka cut inside onto his left foot. A brilliant finish across the keeper to seal the victory. And Saka's then gone off with a ankle injury. It looks like an ankle injury. He landed awkwardly after going for a header. And yeah, that's a bit of a worry ahead of the weekend, but we'll see. Corny Schooner says, can only beat what's in front of it. Exactly, yeah, you can only beat what's in front of it. And we've brushed these aside fairly comfortably 2 games. They're not a great team, but yeah, you've got to beat them. Declan Rice has just exchanged shirts with one of the Sevilla players. Another excellent performance from him. But Martinelli's playing a match tonight. He was exciting to watch, wasn't he? Running past that fullback for fun. And unlucky not to have got an assist or a goal, maybe. But yeah, it was a decent enough performance tonight from Arsenal. We got the job done, and that's all that matters, really, isn't it? We've won again. That's 9 points out of 12 in the Champions League group. We are virtually qualified now, haven't we? It's just dotting the T's and crossing the T's and dotting the I's, isn't it? And then we'll be through to the knockout stage, which was, of course, always the target, wasn't it? Terry says, well done, Havertz, another 90 plus minutes, contributed nothing. Well, he did have a good shot tonight, didn't he? And he missed the header as well. I thought Zinchenko did well when he came on actually in the second half, so fair play to him, because I've not been convinced by him at all. But Martinelli is clearly playing a match tonight. Brilliant performance from him. Let's hope we can carry that into the weekend. He's only got 2 goals this season, Martinelli. We want to see him score a few more, don't we? But he certainly, if he plays like that, we won't have too many complaints going forward, will we? So, yeah, a good night tonight for Arsenal. If we're going to moan about anything, it was the fact that Mikel Arteta didn't give the 2 youngsters some minutes at the end there, but doesn't matter too much, does it? We've got to win, and that's the most important thing. And Trossard and Saka with the goals, and a decent enough night for Arsenal, wasn't it, tonight? To put ourselves right on the brink. So shall we have a look at the other scores then before we go? Always nice to know where everyone else is getting on. Let's have a look then. So it finished Bayern Munich 2, Galatasaray 1. Harry Kane with 2 more goals. Wow. I don't know how many he scored. He must have got nearly 20 goals for Bayern Munich already. They're still playing in Copenhagen. It is 3-3. Wow. What a game that's been there. And Man United down to 10 men, of course, Rashford was sent off in the first half. So I suppose that's not a bad result, really. And PSV are winning 1-0 against Lens with that early goal from De Jong. And Lens have had a player sent off in stoppage time as well. So you're thinking PSV, it just finished actually there. So PSV have won that game 1-0. It's Napoli 1, Union Berlin 1. Real Madrid have beaten Sporting Lisbon 3-0. Comfortable victory for them. Real Sociedad 3, Benfica 1. And Inter Milan have won 1-0 in Salzburg, a late penalty from Le Martinez. So let's look at the group then. Our group looks like this. We have played for 9 points, top of the group. Second is PSV, played for. They've got 5 points. So we're very close, aren't we, now to qualifying. In third place, it's Lens. They've got 5 points as well. And then Sevilla with 2. They need to win their last 2 games. They might even have to win their last 2 games just to get into the Europa League. Sevilla are, of course, the holders of that competition. So it looks as though we're nearly there. We're 4 points clear with 2 games to play. A win next time out will send us through. So that'll be good. Man United look as though they might be dropping into the Europa League if they're not careful. But we'll see. Terry says, do you think Rice is a sun dodger? He's certainly pale, isn't he? But that's fine. Well, right, he needs to be like that, doesn't he? Because he's Rice, isn't he? So he's going to be white, isn't he? Nathan says, thank you for the commentary, Rich. Have a nice night, everyone. And yourself, mate. Yeah, take it easy. I'm sure we'll see you very soon on that next one. Mark C says, Copenhagen just scored again, 4-3 up. Well, have they? Wow, what an incredible game. They've had some mad games in Europe this season, man, haven't they? Some of the scores that they've had are ridiculous. Terry says Harry Kane, another couple of goals, but let's be fair, he is playing week in, week out against 11 Havertz. Well, I don't know about that, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but he's I don't mind him scoring now he's playing for them. he can score as many as he likes. He can score 100 goals. I don't mind. And as long as he's not scoring them for Tottenham, we are quite happy. But yeah, he's doing well, isn't he? Definitely. So yeah, we're 4 points clear at the top of the group with 2 games to play. So I win next time when we play Lons at the Emirates, and we are through. So yeah, it's all looking good, isn't it? I mean, I'll be surprised if we don't go through now from this position. Then really we need to give up if we don't qualify now. So yeah, it's looking good, isn't it? That was a comfortable victory tonight. Man United at the bottom of their group, by the way. So they might not even make the Europa League at this rate. But they've had some mental results, haven't they? But they are losing 4-3. They're still playing there, actually. Incredible. Mark C says there, we put in a solid professional performance tonight, but I bet the pundits don't give us any credit. I mean, it's difficult to give us over credit. Yes, we put in a very good performance tonight, as you said, professional job against a fairly average team, but that was all we did. I'd like to see us at some point, beat a team like this 4 or 5-0, put them to the sword, because we certainly were much better than Seville. We've only won 2-0. Yes, we've done the job we had to do, and that's fine, and that's great, and that's all we needed to do. But I don't think anybody's going to go over the top about it, because it's nothing to go over the top about, is it? It's just a decent enough performance against a pretty average team, and we've got the 3 points, and that's pretty much all there is. We can't go over the top and say how brilliant we were, because we wasn't. We were okay. We played some good stuff at times, and we won the game, and which is great. But yeah, I don't care if I don't care what the pundits say anyway. I don't care if they give us credit or not. It's not important. What's important is what we see in front of our eyes, and how we look at it. And for me, this was a good performance. We've got the job done, but there's still a lot of work to do this season if we're going to win a trophy, which I think we have to win. And yes, we can do what we have to do now, get through this group, and that's what we have to do. And we're in a great position now, and that's great. But once we get to the knockout stage, it's going up a level, isn't it? And we're going to have to be better in all aspects of our play if we're going to go a long way in this competition, which would be great, wouldn't it? I think we all want to see that, don't we? We've not been in the Champions League for a long time. It'd be great to have a decent run in it. But we're going to have to improve. We are going to have to improve. Terry says it's a good win tonight, but still ain't convinced we're winning anything with this manager. Well, no, I'm not either. But let's just keep winning the games. Let's keep winning. See how many games we can keep winning, and go as far as we can in all the competitions that are left. But yeah, I still think we need to improve. We still need a centre forward, let's be honest. I mean, Trossard played there tonight, scored a goal. He's not a 20-goal-a-season player, is he? And we don't really have one of them, do we, in our team? So, and I think to win the big trophies, you do need a goal scorer. You do, because, however much we now spread the goals around the team, especially with Saka and with Martinelli, Odegaard when he's fit, all chipping in with the goals, and we're spreading them around. In the very, very tight games against the big teams, that's when you need a goal scorer to get you a goal in those games, to get your points that you need and get your wins. And that's what the difference is. And I don't feel we've got that player for those moments in those games. And so far, over the last couple of years, that's been the case, hasn't it? When it's mattered, we haven't had that player who can get you the goal. When you look back to Mikel Arteta's only trophy, the FA Cup, it was Aubameyang's goals in the semi-final and the final. And this is what I'm talking about. We don't have a player who's going to do that in our team, in our squad. We're at this moment in time, we haven't got one. And that's the difference. Without Aubameyang in that team, we don't win that FA Cup. And without a player like that in this team, I think we're going to struggle to win anything, because they are, especially in a cup competition, that's when those players, over a league campaign, 38 games, your goals can be spread around. But even then, in the big games, in the tight games, you do need that player, don't you, who's going to be able to get them, goals. And Mark C says, look at how Haaland elevated City that little bit more. Exactly. He was quite happy to get rid of Jesus when he knew he was getting Haaland. I wonder why. Mark C says, we need a striker who brings a threat like that. Of course we do, yeah. That's you can see the difference that would make to this team. And then I'd start to believe, if we can buy a striker in January, if it's not too late by then, and they can settle in quickly, we'll have a chance. We would have a chance, definitely. Terry says, someone to get you a goal out of nothing. Exactly, yeah, that's the thing. A goal out of nothing. That's almost what I'm saying. If you look at our goals, the goals that Saka scores, the goals that Odegaard scores in particular, and even the goals Martinelli scores, often most of their goals are team goals, aren't they? They're finishing off a team move. Saka's goal tonight had a bit of an individual aspect to it, a lovely cut inside, but it was a team move, wasn't it? The first goal was a proper team move, and Trossard finished it off. That's the sort of goal that Erdegaard often gets. But yeah, the goal out of nothing, exactly right. An Ian Wright type player, when it's a 0-0 away from home and you're struggling to create, and they'll suddenly pop up with a goal from nothing. We don't have that player, and you're right, and that's what we need. And if you get that player, that it does, as Mark said there, it elevates you to that next level, doesn't it? Because you end up winning games you wouldn't have won before, and that's what makes the difference when it matters at the crucial times. And all the fancy football that we play is brilliant. Whatever it is, you might enjoy that, you might not, but without that player in this team, we're never going to be able to achieve everything that we can. Terry says, if we're 2 years behind City, then we should get our centre forward in 2026. No, get him now, and then in 2 years' time we might catch up with them. But I don't think we're that far behind. We're not that far off. We're one or two aspects that we need to be better in, and that's the main one for me. Is that sort of player, isn't it? That goal scorer, that player that can win you those big games on a regular basis, and we don't have anyone that can do that. As good a players as we've got, they're all very similar, aren't they? In our attacking midfield areas, in our forward areas, they're all very, very similar. The players on the bench are very similar to the ones in the starting team. We don't have that difference maker, I don't think. And that's where other teams have got them, haven't they? Liverpool have got Salah. He'll get them a goal when they need one. So many times we've already mentioned Haaland at City. They're the difference makers, aren't they? And that's the sort of player that we just don't have. And if we get one, I think we could go a long way. Marcy says a thoroughbred striker is what we're missing. Yeah, 100%. Terry says, I still think we're about 4 or 5 players short. And I wouldn't say that. I think in the squad, yes, I think the squad needs to be strengthened. The bench needs to be strengthened so that Mikel Arteta trusts them more to play them in games like this and give them more minutes in other games rather than picking the same 11 every week. But in the actual team itself, in our first 11, we need that striker, and then we need 1 or 2 stronger backups, stronger than Vieira, for example. Cedric Suarez on the bench, El Nenny's on the bench. We need upgrades on them, don't we, on the bench? 100% we do. And then we won't be far off, but it all costs money, doesn't it, as well? We've just spent a lot of money in recent transfer windows. But yeah, I mean, all I want to see is Arsenal being successful. All I want to see is Arsenal winning things, and that's the only thing that matters, really, isn't it? We want to see the team playing well and winning games of football and ultimately winning trophies, because that's what, as fans, that's what we want, and as players, I'm sure that's what they want as well. And I think we're 1 or 2 players away from that, and then a couple more in the squad to pad that bench up a bit better. That's all, to give us some better options to come off the bench and make a real difference, because we don't have enough. We saw at Newcastle on Saturday, we didn't have really anybody to come off the bench who was going to make a difference to that game and get us back in it. And that was why we lost that game as well. That's another reason why we lost, isn't it? But anyway, we've won tonight. We're almost through, and it's happy days, isn't it? So anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Terry says there, don't think we need upgrades on Havertz and J20 in midfield. Don't you think we need him? Well, I would say Jorginho's a good backup midfield player, isn't he? Obviously, Erdegaard will be playing when he's fit. So, he's as good to have on the bench, isn't he? And he can come on and do a job. I don't think he's a bad player, Jorginho. Just maybe the pace of the Premier League sometimes catches him out, doesn't it? But I think overall, he's not a bad squad player to have. It'd be difficult to get a player as good as him on your bench regular. So yeah, that's Havertz, we know, is an issue, but we've just spent a lot of money on him, so we can't really upgrade him, can we? Because we haven't got the money. Mark C says it's too long since we've won a Premier League, and also too long since we've won a European trophy. Well, you think about it, Mark, it's been 20 years since we've won the Premier League. It's been 30 years since we've won a European trophy, and it's been 31 years since we've won a League Cup. And that's 3 out of 4 trophies, and none of them we've won within the last 20 years. If it wasn't for those FA Cups in recent years, we wouldn't win anything. We'd be like Spurs, wouldn't we? You know what I mean? It's a long time. And you're right. We need to win one of those big trophies at some point very, very soon. And I don't think we can win either of them this season, if I'm honest. I still think, as Terry said, we're certainly 1 or 2 players short of either of those 2 trophies. The FA Cup's our only real chance this season, isn't it? And if we play a strong team in that and get a decent enough draws through, you never know. But we still don't have that. For me, we still don't have that one player for me that can really win those games in the cup competitions as we had the last time we won it. Mark C says, thanks again, Rich. Good show and a good win tonight. No, exactly, mate. Yeah, thank you very much for your contribution as well. Terry says, great show again, Richard. Well done. The chat. Please make sure you hit a like, thumbs up before you leave. Yeah, give us a like before you go. We've got Mike in the chat here, my friend. He says, come on, you Gunners. Indeed, come on, you Gunners. New name in the chat. We like to see new names in the chat. Good to see you. Don't forget to give us a like and think about subscribing as well if you like. We cover all the games on here, the men and the women's team. So it's finished here anyway at the Emirates tonight. Arsenal 2, Sevilla 0. Fairly comfortable victory for Arsenal. We could have maybe won a little bit more handsomely, but we'll take a nice 2-0 victory. A goal in each half. Trossard and Saka with the goals, and Saka with the assist on the first one. Martinelli, who was player of the match for me, definitely. He got an assist for the second one as well. Created numerous problems down that side. Terry says, Richard, see you on Friday. Come on, you Gooner girls, indeed. Greg says, great show. See you Friday and talk about a better team, a more enjoyable team to watch. Definitely, I would totally agree with. They are definitely a better team to watch, the women. But all we want is, as Arsenal fans and the men and women's team, we just want to see the teams winning and being successful, don't we? And hopefully that's what will happen this season. So, but yeah, I'll see you on Friday for the Arsenal women's show, 7:30. So join me for that. That's going to be a good show. Really good show. Looking forward to that. Lots to talk about, lots to get through. There is a game tomorrow, of course. Mike says there from Kenya, following your WSL watchalongs. Oh, good stuff, mate. Good to have you with us from Kenya. We have a lot of people from all over Africa actually joining us, which is great. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying what we're doing. And of course, we've got we've got the women's show Friday. We've got 2 big watch-alongs at the weekend. Obviously, Saturday the men are in action at 3:00 against Burnley, so I'll be at 3:15 for that. And then Sunday the women, the late game, 7:15 kickoff. So I'll be at 6:30 for that. And of course, Friday I say 7:30 for the Arsenal women's show. So lots of great stuff. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to everyone for watching tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Give us a like if you did. We won the game. Come on, we deserve some likes, don't we? So thank you for all of that. Thank you to all you guys in the chat as well. I say please like if you are new. Please subscribe as well. And yeah, a good win for Arsenal in the chat. It's been a long time since we've won Champions League games, hasn't it? A lot of years. So it's nice when we win them now. We're going to enjoy them. It was a good performance in the end, a comfortable victory. And we're virtually through, aren't we? The next game against London in a couple of weeks' time will decide it. We should be through. And we can look forward to the knockouts after Christmas, can't we? Which is good. Keeps the season alive, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on Friday. So join me for that. And in the meantime, as always, come on, you Gunners. Come on, you Gunners. 2-0. We are nearly through. Good stuff. Take it easy, guys. See you Friday.